Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Outlaw Radio, like I always say, better late than never. Our Wednesday show, the Hump Day edition of Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio, black people stuff. What does Kev have on his mind tonight? You are soon to find out. Welcome to the show. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the architect of the People's Network, as well as the People's News Network, which, if you didn't know, is our sister group, right? So it's a Facebook group, but it is one of the best groups you can be in on Facebook simply because it's all about us. It's all about what we go through. It's all about stories that are relevant to us. We try to keep fight videos and coonery and buffoonery at a minimum, unless it's something we can all laugh about, right? Like, you don't want to be talked about, you want to be talked to. So please, please, please go and join the People's News Network. Share the show, share the show. It's on. I know I'm late, whatever. I iron out difficulties all the time, technology wise, but it just comes with what you actually have to master in order to do this. And I always talk about now we live in an age in which everybody has a podcast. And I see people all the time say, hey, let's go do a podcast. But I really don't think people understand what the undertaking of this is if you intend to do it seriously. Yes, it looks fly. You can talk your shit. Get on here a couple times. Your friends gonna hype you up. Your grandmama's gonna say, look at my baby. But if you want it to be something that's solid, something that's real, something that's structured, something that's intentional, especially if your intention is to speak to the people, then it's much, much, much more of an undertaking. I'm talking financially, I'm talking commitment wise, I'm talking creatively, I'm talking about organizationally, structurally. This is not what you want to do if you don't want to do it. Now, if you say I'm interested in it, okay, and you want to do this, meaning be a content creator, come up with a platform, bring on your people, bring your guys on, bring all the people who you think are interesting and say, let's do this. Now, the production is a whole other undertaking. I'm talking lighting, I'm talking about sound, I'm talking about presentation. There's a number attached to this show. Speaking of presentation, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, 262-202-5131. Cash App down there too. Donate to the movement. EPU Personal Defense, EPUSDS.com. This is production. This is presentation. And speaking of presentation, I am not alone. I just so happen to have my co-host with me, Miss Katia. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hey. What's happening, y'all? Life is what's popping. Life is what's popping. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk, and we definitely gonna walk that walk. Raising vibrations, and we elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama! They gotta see most man! Hey, y'all better come on in. Listen, that hot elderberry tea, it done dropped again. It's back. It's time to get them immune systems together. The fall is here. The fall is here, and so is the flu weather. This is the flu season. So build your immune system so you don't be all fucked up in it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And by the way, if my partner didn't mention it, he is a black businessman. He is a black entrepreneur. And I keep telling y'all, we have to support us. So if you're in the realm of trying to improve your biological functions and you think maybe there's a natural way, you should hit your man's up. You should hit my guy up, right? And holler at him. He does consultations. He's selling himself short. I'm just extending it, right? I say this all the time. He's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
Man.
Right. So, with that said, if you are a person out there who has a business, if you are a businessman who's a businessman, hit me up. Get a sponsorship. Teamwork, make it the dream work. Can't even say that enough times. That's one of my favorite cliches, by the way, Kamar. But I want to ask you something because you said something and you say it every week. And we've been doing this for a very long time. Out of the 10 years I've been on air, you've probably been around for about 6 or 7 of them. You said, talk that talk and walk that
Walk that
walk.
walk.
I want people to
Ooh,
understand
boy,
what you
boy.
mean when you say that, because look, it sounds cool. It rhymes a hippity the hippity the hip hip
Yeah,
the up dump
yeah,
the boogie.
yeah.
What does that mean? Talk that talk and walk that walk.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. First of all, I don't want nobody that's gonna teach me something that ain't doing what they teach,
Okay.
right? You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? If we talking about being good people out here, we got to be good people out here. If you trying
Right.
to teach young men how to be good men out here,
Be
you
good
have
man.
to be a good man out here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If you out here pushing health and wellness, you know what I mean? Your lifestyle need to be about health and wellness,
Let me
right?
catch you
If
with
you
some
a
sports history.
mechanic working on cars, god damn it, you need to be outside and have some cars with you, working on some cars with some tools and shit. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna talk that talk, fam, you need to be walking that walk. Or how
Yes, sir.
about this? How about I got one? I got one. Cause see,
Keep
I've
it
been
coming.
having an issue. I've been having a thing about being a bigger man all the goddamn time lately, and I'm getting sick of this shit. You know what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying? So I
Uh-oh.
got another one, right? Here go one. Niggas, shut the fuck up if you can't fight. Quit trying to punk motherfuckers and talk shit, but then when the motherfuckers swing back, then now it's time to get, you know what I mean, get the authorities involved. So, you know what I mean? If you can't fight, stop talking shit. Leave people the fuck alone. That's it. If you
Go
can't
ahead,
fight,
Boxer.
leave people the fuck alone.
Yes, sir. Ironically, the name of the show tonight is
Now, I
Black
didn't
People
do
Stuff.
nothing to nobody, kid. Don't get me
I
wrong. I
no,
ain't
you ain't
did
got it.
nothing.
No, I get it. I get it because we ain't seen it on the news.
Right.
The name of the
You
show is
get,
Black People Stuff. And why did I call it that? Because that's what the show is normally about. I keep
mm,
saying all the time, people ask me because I know. And shout out to the sneak listeners. Shout out to those out there who say, I want to do a podcast, but in week 4, they run out of ideas. So I know they put their ears to the net and see what they talking about. It's hard to put us in a box because we pretty much talk about everything that's relevant and pertinent to black people. That's a wide spectrum of things. So on
right.
Outlaw Radio, you might hear about politics, you might hear about hip hop, you might hear about the streets, you
Oh,
might
you
hear
gonna hear
about some
about.
freaky, nasty, grown up people shit. You might hear about drugs. You might hear
How
about
about you gonna hear
incarceration.
about it all? How about you gonna hear about all that?
There you go.
You're
There you
gonna.
go.
Let's just put that out there.
Right.
So be ready.
Right. So that's what we talk about. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Now, to go back to what you said, I love the way you broke that down. But I think over the years, what I've tried to do is present people on here who you can look at the show and say, dude talking all that shit, he don't do da
Mm,
da 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 da, right?
right.
No one can question when I talk about my love for the people, no one can
Hmm.
question that. No one can talk
Yeah.
about my commitment to the community. No one can question that. No one can even question, well, what is he doing? When I tell you I'm a professional black people helper.
Right.
That's what I do for a living. I actually raise my kids
Hey, Kev.
helping
Remember
people.
when I wrote that? That's what it was. We was even talking about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We all do the shit we talk about.
right. And if you
Everybody. And then it even evolved even farther. We got real now.
right,
You know what I mean? What he taught is his lifestyle.
he's intentional. He's
Exactly.
intentional. He's pointed, right? He's specific and he will tell you his lane. Same thing with the juice lady. She has a
Hmm.
lane. She's in
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I didn't
She
want I
out here.
didn't want
She out here walking her walk.
well, I know what people hear us all the time and they think we come in, we do these kind of snazzy intros and people think, oh, they just, yeah. But there's actually
Yeah.
life in the lyrics, right?
Mhm.
There's actually
We popping our shit.
right. And if you do your research on let me see who this motherfucker is,
Yeah.
you often find out, damn,
You
I
gonna
ain't
see
know he was
all that.
doing that. I ain't know. That's a lot of my guys who say, Kev, I didn't even know you ever did that shit. Cause I don't walk around with a t-shirt with it printed on my back. I don't have to.
Right.
And I like to look at myself as a servant leader, meaning I'm gifted with the ability to deliver this message to my people. So I'm
Exactly.
not doing it out of ego. I'm not doing it in the thinking that they owe me something, or I'm not
You
placing
doing it out
myself
of love.
above anybody. It just
You
flows.
doing it out of love. You doing
Right.
what you love to do.
For
That's
myself and for my people and for my community.
mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what it
definitely.
is.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like when you find your lane, what you love to do, you know what I mean? It's beneficial for you and others. You know what I'm saying? It's never just you.
Right.
It's beneficial for you and others. And if you do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna be gifted. You're gonna be blessed with everything you need. I tell a story about the trees, right? We made out of the same molecules as the trees. The
Mm-hmm.
trees do everything they supposed to do for nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They what they here for on this earth for, they do. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? So they get blessed with everything they need in abundance. You know what I'm saying? And so if we made out of the same things, man, maybe life is just that easy.
Well, I know you're aware of the latest scientific discovery and revelation about trees, in which they found that trees utilize their roots to communicate with other trees and plants
Mm,
in their general
in their
vicinity,
vicinity, right?
right? And they favor some over others, in particular, their own types of tree. If their roots are great enough, they can share resources, share
Mm.
knowledge, share nutrients, all of this through their roots.
You know, I was listening to this one lady speak, and she was talking. You know, she's one of the people that's what I mean trying to save the forest and everything, right? And she was
Okay.
saying, well, when you cut a tree down, you hurting the environment miles around that tree.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When you cut the tree down, there's you hurting the environment from miles around, and it just go to what you saying.
Well, that's the bottom. That's what's under the soil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you killing
What
the
they're
tree,
doing is absorbing carbon monoxide so that we can have clean oxygen.
right? But I
So,
mean, I'm saying just to attest to what you saying.
right.
Like
No, no, no.
how the trees communicate, they resources. So if you kill a tree, you stopping some resources, you stopping some information from these trees communicating. You know what I'm saying?
Underground and above ground.
Yeah, under and above, and above. That's
And we
right,
don't even talk about the animals that depend on the tree for a place to live,
right. Or eat.
right down to our dependency on them to build material, to get material so we can build. You look at a tree, you don't think it's that deep, but
Right.
it is. And so that's what, it's the kind of concepts you come to when you listen to a show
You know,
like
hey,
this.
that's also I don't knock tree huggers.
Unless they involve another level of weirdo-ness, I get why you would absolutely love trees.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We missing the fact that what provides the best shade when the sun is hot? A tree.
Right.
Some trees grow
It
fruit
may
that
set the tree may save your life, fool.
we eat fruit that trees bear.
Right.
We eat the animals that live in them. This is a harbinger of life. So I'm saying, no, you put it out there. This is all on you because you put it out there about us being from the same molecules.
Hmm.
You put it out there. So this is
Yeah.
you. This is
It's
all
real.
on
We
you.
all connected, man. Everything is one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The law of Asar is we are all one, right? We are all one. Nothing can be against us. So
Yeah.
nothing can be against us. If you connected to everything, everything is a part of you. So can't nothing be against you.
We choose to divide ourselves.
Yeah.
We choose. You make a
Yeah.
conscious decision, whatever the fuck it is, decision. You make
Right.
a conscious decision to separate yourself from other people based on certain things.
Yeah.
It may be your political opinion, it may be the way you dress, it may be your diet, it may be your lifestyle. We choose to divide ourselves because inherently we're all, like you said, all one, all just a production of this thing, earth, this nature, this
Maybe
thing that
one
we just
a
don't
big part of
understand.
one big organism, maybe.
It is. It's all connected in one way or another. You used to be a monkey. No, I didn't. I
You
mean,
used to be a monkey.
right? Motherfucker, you was a monkey, right? It's We choose to divide ourselves. So
Right.
please call in to the show. Let us know what's on your mind. I like to open this up, and I'm learning more and more as we go. That is very important for me to say to y'all. If y'all got something y'all want to talk about, because it's quite simply impossible for me to be up on any and everything. And I do my talking points, but I don't pretend to cover every issue, every news story. And that, I think that's one of the singular things about Outlaw Radio too, is that I don't come on here and pretend to be the all-knowing, all understanding. As a matter of fact, more often than not, you'll hear me admit my own flaws. When I got an opinion that's extreme and everybody else kind of like, Kev, I'm like, well, look, shit, that's me. I'm honest about it, right?
Yeah.
I would encourage you to do the same. And not only that, look for platforms that have that same kind of effect. Look for a platform. It ain't about really, it's about likes and follows in today's kind of in our society, because that's how we quantify popularity and appeal and influence. But it's really not about that. It's more about how something makes you feel. You know what I mean? That's why with hip hop is one of my favorite art forms, because when those artists wouldn't go gold or wouldn't go platinum, they could still tour and make money because we love their music so much. We still supported them. We didn't care if they weren't on MTV. We didn't care if they wasn't playing on the radio. We didn't care if somebody else didn't know who the fuck it was. If you felt it, you felt it. And we supported them artists. And we got to kind of get down to that with this social media, content creator, podcasting, internet radio, because it's time for the corporate owned entities to be put out of business anyways, because they don't represent us accurately. So y'all, welcome to the show. If you know our schedule, which is Monday and Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever, those are the 2 days we're on. It's funny to me that after 10 years of doing this show consistently, people still say to me, when your show come on? When you doing the show? People call me sometimes on Sunday night and be like, is you doing the show? And I'm like, no, it's Monday and it's Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever we do it. So check both shows out. Monday is live from the basement. Wednesday is usually topical, just as tonight is Black people stuff. Some more things will come along for the platform. I'll say they will amalgamate as we're moving forward. But it's just, right now, all I really need for you to do, if you don't want to hit the Cash App, is share the show. That's it. Just share the show. Just say, hey, man, Outlaw Radio Zone, checking it out. This is real conversation. And even if you don't agree with anybody on here about with our perspectives, you're free to call in and pop your shit. The chat room is normally popping. The phone line is normally popping. So if you don't agree with what we're saying, feel free to express yourself. The only thing that I ask is you respect the platform. Yeah, I want to hang up on your ass, right? And it's not Jerry Springer, it's not Ricky Lake, it's not a tabloid. So we don't really deal in gossip, hearsay, and all this kind of shit. It's a hater-free zone. There's no hate on this show. Nobody ever hates on anybody. Even if we don't agree with each other, we just say, fuck you, and then we go off the air and come back a couple days later. It's what it is. So welcome to Black People Stuff. I want to start the show off. I definitely have to start the show off because I had a very interesting day today.
Oh.
Talk about my day today. Welcome to the show, Juice Lady. How you
doing?
Oh, well, how y'all doing?
We are
good.
Fabulous.
That's
right?
what I'm talking about. Tell
No
us about
Diddy,
this day.
fabulous. Right. Anytime I say certain kind of shit, I just gotta add no Diddy to it.
Because Diddy was all over Fabulous. He was.
I see. It just triggers people.
was.
Okay, so I'm always abreast of the news, and people are always sending me stuff. And believe it or not, I get phone calls.
Oh.
And sometimes I'm at the plantation. I'm working. I'm singing for a living. Right? This is doo-doo-wop. I'm a temptation. I work for Berry Gordy. But today, this news was released that Tierman Spencer, our former city attorney, who's the first Black city attorney in the history of this city, who from the time he walked in office was under fire. Okay. Let me just say off top that I think his stance on qualified immunity and not allowing police officers to just get away scot-free for whatever egregious acts that they have, committed, made him a target. Just knowing how it is to be a Black man who's been through a lot, seen a lot, done a lot, heard a lot. automatically white people typically don't like you, right? And I'm gonna say it specifically, white people, and you know who really are the main perpetuators of our political machines is white people. Cut to no chase. So he got a felony charge. He's misconduct in office. Keep in mind, he was removed. He lost the election in what, January, March to Evan Goike. They finally got him out of office. And they said that he's wrongdoing in office and misuse of his power and obstructing justice. Tierman's been on our show a bunch of times. Me and Tierman and myself.
He was just at the store about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Tierman
and I have over the years formed a relationship in which we can really talk real with each other. And I wouldn't dare even, give up or disclose all the stuff we've discussed over the years. But these charges are trumped up charges in a kangaroo court. Let me tell you, Milwaukee's petty. Obviously, Tierman pissed someone off. I like to point at qualified immunity because anytime you start talking about changing the way law enforcement is done in this country, somebody's going to have a problem. Why? Because a majority of the time, when there's an egregious act committed by a law enforcement officer, historically and presently, it's been perpetuated on the back of a black person or a person of color. We are the ones who it started off as a traffic stop and end up with 6 shots in your back. We are the ones with a knee on your neck until you call out for your mama and die slowly. We are the ones who these acts, teenagers, young kids, right? Tamir Rice, young kid in the park with a play gun, murdered, shot how many times by a police officer? Conservative white people don't want you to disturb the balance that law enforcement has. Well, I can tell you this. There is no balance because we know as black people that even back in the days when we were in the South, usually the sheriff or the chief of the police was a Klansman. He was the Grand Dragon. So our trust for law enforcement is when we look at the fact that the justice system in terms of convictions in court are disproportionate, in which black offenders are convicted at a higher rate for the same crimes than their white counterparts. All this has we already side-eyeing police. And I seen a commercial where the cop says he's a cop in Minnesota. He said, I was standing here and I got hit in my mouth with a brick. Why? Because I was a police officer. And Kamala Harris, where was she? Here's the crazy part about the commercial. He says, where was Kamala Harris? Campaigning for legal demonstrations. Legal demonstrations don't cover the some bitch who threw a rock and hit you in your mouth. She was campaigning for the right thing. She's dangerous. Don't talk bad on police officers in this country when it comes to how we're treated, because guess what? Normally a police officer's on the white person's side. Call the cops on the white person. This motherfucker just did this, da-da-da. They'll pull up quick and tell your ass, well, I think you should just go home, buddy. The fuck you talk about? It's always been slanted. So I'm not going to reveal any specifics because out of my the bond that I have with Tierman, and which is confidentiality, and the bond that I have, period, just as a real one, that everything ain't for everybody. So we can have a confidential conversation, and it's between us. I'm not a messy dude like that. I'm never taking, toting water to somebody. Man, I just talked to dude. He said da 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 da. All I can tell you is this: is without being emotional about it, without having a knee-jerk reaction, let's let this play out. Let's let this go through the court system. And the news is out there. So supposedly he owned a building where he was storing his cars. He sold the building. His cars were there. There was a city inspection. The city came in. They seen the cars. They said, this is fucked up. This is bad. You got to do this, that, and the third. They're saying what he knew that the inspection was coming before it came, and he called the inspector and tried to influence her. That's his misuse of power in office. If he got 7, 8, 9, 10 cars stored in the property he used to own, the property sold, but he has an agreement with the new owner. Hey, man, my cars is up there. I got to find somewhere to move them. Cool. The second thing is a subpoena for his phone to prove that there was text message, and this is all in urban Milwaukee. It's in the JS online, so I'm not disclosing anything that was confidentially told to me by my brother Tierman Spencer. This is the charges. You think when they put those headlines up, he was in there stealing money. He was in there misusing his power, walking around like the Don downtown, slapping people in their shit. You know who I am? We talking about big business that goes on every day. If I own a property and my cars are there and I sell a property and I tell a new owner, hey, man, I got these cars up there. I'm trying to find somewhere. I might even say, hey, I'll just pay you to leave them there, right? And they said, well, you have to have a permit of occupancy. Well, let's check the laws to see if there's a permit of occupancy needed to store your cars or if there's one needed to work on your cars at that location. I think there's two different things here. So I see them jumping out the window to continuously harass this brother. This brother is the first black city attorney in the 100 whatever years of this city. And there was an agenda against him off top. I know this. All I'm saying is, black people, don't be so quick to be talking shit about the brother. I mean, see. No. There's a price you pay for speaking up against the machine. You better believe it. You better ask Marcus Garvey. You better ask Malcolm. You better ask Martin Luther King with his peaceful self. I'm sorry. Martin was his rap name. Michael King. Ask him what happened when he stopped talking about let us hit them, y'all, and let them hit us and let's keep going. When he starts saying, hey, man, what the fuck we doing in Vietnam? Hey, man, what's really going on with poverty? Ooh. Wasn't here long after that, was he?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever believe in your rabbit ass mind that as a black man, when you stand up for the truth and when you stand up for us, there's not a price to be paid. And it comes from multiple places. Sometimes you don't even know. You like, who the fuck? I piss off to this point. So I'm just saying, when you see this story about Tierman Spencer, and I see the white boy Daniel Storm coming on talking about he shouldn't have never been a lawyer. And first of all, this man has how many decades of practicing law? You talking about he shouldn't have, you're ignoring his sacrifice, his work, all of the things he's done to earn himself a place. And you talking about he shouldn't have never been, you better go on somewhere. This is why white people need to stay out of our business sometimes. That's why I call the show Black People Stuff. White people be talking, they don't be knowing they don't know what the hell they be talking about. And I seen that our alderman was quick to come and say, hey, Evan Goike, who replaced him, we're in good hands now and everything's going well. Why? Because you got a white dude in there? Come on, man. We can talk turkey if you want it to be Thanksgiving. That's all I'm saying. Mama Jenkins in the chat room. How you doing, Mama Jenkins? Love always. She said, good evening, my Outlaw family. I love this show. The most of all that I listen to, it's informative. You give updated on the latest city news, national news, and most of all, just friendly conversations. There's humor and a much serious side when things matter. Continue to make it do what it do. Love y'all. We love you too, Mama Jenkins. We love you too. We do our best, man. Right? I can't even do that, Kamara. My man hands won't let me do that, right?
Well, I got man hands too.
We try our best, you know. It's very, I'm gonna tell y'all what I've learned is it's very hard to keep black people occupied. I'm trying to tell you, because you got to be serious, then you got to make them laugh, then you got to make them cry, then you got to make them think. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit you got to be able to do. You got to be able to sing and play the piano at the same goddamn time. Ernest Walker in the chat room, Ewok, what to do? He said, yo, my people. Courtney, yeah, you know, whatever. All right. Right. I don't want to touch that. Dion, he said, hey guys, Dion, what up? What up, Dion? I like when Dion be articulate when he call in and be like, hey guys, how you doing?
Right. Hey guys.
Then by the end of the conversation, be talking about GD to the world blow up.
And you know them hoes, man, them different bitches. I like them. You know,
fuck these hoes. I'll talk to you guys later. Jermaine Anderson in Shreveport, Louisiana. He said, what up, brother? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Shreveport, Louisiana. Rest in peace to my cousin, Stephen Pfeiffer, who was just murdered by the police in, I want to say Baton Rouge, or what was it, New Orleans? I think he was murdered in New Orleans by the police. Rest in peace to Cuzzo, man. Miss you around here. But yeah, so I just wanted to tell y'all about this because, you know, they always put a spin on us. I don't want to equate this to Diddy. I don't, because myself And every other man, in particular, any man who has a daughter who watched what Diddy did to Cassie, knows that he deserves some sort of time. If you are a man who loves and cherishes black women, or just women in general, there's no space for that kind of behavior. So just in that act, I'm not like, okay, Diddy is, I don't believe in all the conspiracy theories, but there's definitely merit to some of the enemies that he chose to take on in terms of these high-powered liquor distribution companies and high-powered investors. And there's also something here with those who are of certain levels who may be exposed by his investigation. I'm gonna get to that. So I don't want, when I talk about, I do believe that they're going to put a target on a black man's back. That doesn't mean if the black man has been egregious in his treatment, especially towards us, then he gets what he gets. I'm saying there's no report of Tierman doing anything to young people, selling any substances. The way they portray him, you think he was some kind of super villain. It's what the white media does to us. As soon as one of us gets into a position where we say, nah, fuck that, ain't gonna be no status quo around this motherfucker. You know how we talk.
I remember this one line from Tierman in particular. This is
Ooh.
one, it stood out.
I know what you're finna say.
If you want fair, go to the fairground.
There you go.
That's what he said. I said, damn. I said, I guess you're right, huh?
And I can tell you unequivocally in my conversations with him, he's ducking no smoke. He's not, pull me, woe is me. As a matter of fact, his thing with me was, hey man, this the game. This how it has to be played. This how I'm gonna play. I'm going to play it. I'm not running. I ain't hiding. I ain't got shit to hide because I ain't do nothing wrong. If they want war, we gonna go to war. This is what it is. So exactly, he said that, and we all have quoted him so many times and said, if you want fair, go to State Fair. That's some OG shit where we don't care about your complaints, because he could easily, oh man, they trying to get me because I'm a black man, and he like, nah, man, this is how the game is played. Let's go. I'm ready. I really just wanted to check with him and say, hey, bro, how you doing? Ain't just because the spotlight, them faded. I'm not no fair weather friend. If I rock with you, I rock with you. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. But yeah, and then so I want to get back to Diddy, because Diddy, now there is 120 new accusers going all the way back to 1991. And they said, even just to add some boss sauce to it, that 13, 14 of them are minors.
Damn. But are still or were?
They were then at the time that it happened. So this goes from 1991 up till 2023.
Man, I bet some niggas smiling about. I bet Lil Kim.
Well, we talking about damn near 40 years.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why this is relevant is because Kamar and I had this real heated discussion, and I don't know if I was as good at making my point as I wanted to be, and that happens sometimes in the midst of, verbal jousting. I was saying that there were a lot of people who were involved with Diddy, who were around, who were there because they were trying to gain something from it. And there was also a lot of people who were paid sex workers. So what they did was they figured out where to go to get that money. And if it caused you traveling across state lines, however you did it, you went and did it, right? Not all of them. Obviously, once again, we look at the Cassie thing, we say, oh, there were some victims here. But a lot of people were there and they knew what they was getting into. They were there by their own will. They came to get paid. They came to try to get a record deal. And now that this is the hot topic, they have their own lawyer. This ain't part of the government's prosecution. They have a lawyer that's representing. They have an 800 Diddy victim crisis line.
Hey, I was watching one of them videos today, man, and they was reading off the charges, and one of the charges was transportation of a sex worker too. Now that's something different.
Which is all relevant. It's all relevant.
Right. You know what I mean? Now, transportation of a sex worker could be flying somebody out to you.
Okay. Courtney, what was you about to say?
To perform a sexual act.
No. You're right. Go ahead, Courtney.
I was going to say, just because I came to do some freaky shit don't mean I can't get raped. Like, I came to do one thing and then Shit, this turned. I wasn't expecting all this. Now, and you like, bitch, you can't leave. It's like, hold on, now, let me go. No, you
That's
here?
what they said, Courtney.
Yeah, they said, bitch, you can't go. You here now? I said, wait.
Okay. No. Hold on.
Damn, man,
Everything is
respect the
relevant.
life of the
Everything
best.
is everything is relevant. So I hear that argument. But just as so happens, just to say, you was there working and you were. I was only here for the weekend. Monday come, they like, nah, this shit going till Thursday. You like, well, nah, I want to leave. And they say, well, $5,000 more to stay. Shit, fuck it. Now you working overtime. Okay. Now, if you were held against your will and you really were physically forbode from leaving, then you have a case. Then you have right to come forward. But let me tell you, if you said this shit don't end till when I get how much more, I'm staying. My point is there are people now who are not victims who are jumping on this so they can get some money.
Hey, ain't buying pussy a case? A charge?
Right.
Technically, by their
Right.
laws, I believe prostitution
Exactly.
should
Well,
be legal in the
hey,
first place.
it's got to be some kind of foul shit in there
Yes.
because of that too. Because okay, if you paying them, that's still, you know what I mean.
Okay, so a perfect example is a
I
long
ain't
time
saying that
ago.
would be the charge that he gonna get, but I'm just saying like that's against the law too to pay him. So like even if you are knowingly a willing sex worker, you know what I mean, it still
Don't
could
come
be
back now and try to get
illegal
some
act.
money, though. You weren't victimized. Okay,
And
come on.
then they threw all the extra charges. I mean, all the extra charges, like I said, the trafficking. I mean, not the traffic. Well, the trafficking one, but then transportation of a sex worker. You know
Lawyers
what
are
I mean?
slime
Like,
balls.
I
Lawyers
mean,
are slime
we
balls.
say what?
A lawyer is a slime ball. He'll tell you when you come in his office, hey, so you lived in Indiana, but you went to a party in Florida, right? Yeah, I did. That's trafficking. You can
Hell yeah.
they'll settle
Mhm.
out of court. So what I'm saying is that person knew I did this shit. Now I'm putting this against myself because a long time ago I used to do crime, right? A lot of people might not believe that, seeing as how I'm such an upstanding citizen right now, right? At one point in my life, I used to do crime, right? If you told me where the money was and I had anything that could get the money, I went there and got the money and came back. If somebody who was with me said, I'm going because I want to sell some shit too, and I took them and they did what they did and we came back, and now in 2024 they want to say you trafficked me. That's bullshit. I'm not a pimp. I'm not a sexual predator. The fact was we was both trying to get some money. Once again, I'm separating this from somebody. If we go there and all of a sudden I say, man, let's go, and you like, they won't let me leave, and they snatch you back in the house. Now I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Now that's bad. But if on the way home, I'm like, did you get some bread? Yeah, man, I was down here flipping.
But
Don't come back
care.
24
Now,
years because that money's gone trying to get some financial pratfall because it's hard out here.
now, Kev, what if I was trying to leave and they like, hell no, you got to stay. But then when they finally let me go, they give me like a bag of money. I mean, I still was paid, but I was trying to leave and they forced me to stay. But then
Did you
they
take the
still paid
money?
me. And
Did you take the
yeah, you
money?
even
Okay,
forced
well,
me
hold
to stay.
on.
Girl, give me
Because
that
now
shit.
we're talking about being complicit. Because if you took the money and didn't come home and say nothing, what you should have did is took the money, came home and pressed charges because you felt bad or that you felt like you've been violated. You shouldn't have took the money, came home and bought you a Benz and kept pushing because next
Diddy
week you
said
was in
somebody's gonna
Ohio.
kill me now. He said I better not say nothing or they
See,
watching me.
but you can keep adding shit to it all you want. They had a gun, they had a razor
But
blade.
yeah,
They gave me a spike apple. You can add all of this what a lawyer tells you to do. So one guy had, did you see anybody with a gun? Yeah, it was a dude at the door. See, okay, now he gonna say she was forced to stay there. That dude might not even say nothing to you. My
yeah,
point is this: what these lawyers are going to do, these high-powered lawyers that Diddy has that are about to fight with the feds for his life, most of them people gonna be dismissed. They're gonna take those people who were minors, bring them in, hear their stories. If there's validity, it'll be added to the case. All you motherfucking former hoes, because a lot of y'all was hoes in the 90s and don't want to admit it. It was a lot of pussy selling in the 90s. Pimps jumped up and became super popular. Remember in the 90s, pimps was like, here, remember Snoop was a pimp? Like walking in the MTV Awards with girls on chains and shit, pimping Ken. What was that on HBO? Pimps Up, Hoes Down. Top rated documentary. In the 90s, there was a lot of that going on. In the 90s, there was a lot of free flowing freakery.
yeah.
I know cats who didn't have puffy money, but had some money and would have a party, and you could walk into the spot and see whatever. Like, damn, I've personally been to some parties, not no gay shit, not nothing homosexual, but I'm talking about in terms of women and like, bruh, what man, where you come from? Man, I had just went upstairs with old girl. And you took one look at it and you knew she was a sex worker. She wasn't there, she was a pro. My experience is going in bars. The first time I was able to go into a bar at the age of maybe 19, I seen one of the most beautiful women I ever seen in my life. And she was winking at me and smiling, and I was so young and green. I was telling my brother, like, dude, I think she wants me. I think she wants me. He's like, she is fine. I was with the big homies. It was like, Kev getting chose. Go talk to her. Man, she told me right off top, first of all, I'm a hoe and I get paid. So do you have some money? And I was like, no, I'm a college student. So I went back and sat next to my brother at the bar. What happened? She said she's a hoe. She was a professional. Now, that a woman like that who went somewhere. Now, Courtney, I know you keep saying, what if I went and they hit me upside the head with a rock? That didn't happen to everybody. Some people went and did what they did and came on back home on Monday. Obviously, we know the parties led to freak offs, lasted for 4 or 5 days. People got drugs and came out with IVs. I'm not dismissing them. I'm just saying there's always a lot of people who are going to. Either one of us could be on trial right now and say, Kamar slapped me or Kevin slapped me and Kamar got money or I got money. It's going to be 15 more people saying he slapped me too. When we was in elementary school, he slapped me. We was both 9. That wasn't assault, but he's gonna or she's gonna try to get some money. That's how people are. That does not exonerate Puff. I'm just saying this shows when we were having that discussion, what I kept saying is a lot of these witnesses and these testimonies, because of character, they're going to be dismissed. A lot of them, only the ones who were young at the time. Most of these people, because there's going to be some brothers there's going to be some people who be like, you in the penitentiary.
Hey, Kev, I'm with you on that. I totally agree. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, I feel like they got some witnesses and shit already that could be ironclad, and everybody else is just popping up. Probably, you know what I mean? For the moment, like I probably could get in on this. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying,
and they're going to be vetted.
I mean? And
they're
I can see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like as far I was just speaking on the charges that they already charging him with.
The white man's
like
charge.
I say, with the feds, they got a case built already.
Of course they do. The
You know
line
what
is
I
drawn
mean?
in the sand.
Now, it's a bunch of other people, yeah. And some motherfuckers may be able to get in on it. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be a bunch of people that's gonna get brushed off. Like, get your lying ass out of here.
Exactly. The people who's really victimized is gonna get their day.
Yeah. I also think it's gonna be some people that's out here on these videos talking about him, who knew him, who was around. You know what I'm saying? And they might be up in question too. Because they knew, like, how was you around and you knew this shit? Now that it's 9/10 of the law.
That gives
me, what I'm saying?
That brings me to my next point, Kamar, which is these supposed videos. They said, and even in the Fed indictment, Puffy was known for recording these.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing stories. I'm on Media Takeout. I'm on Boss Up. I'm on the internet. And y'all better understand, when you're on YouTube, sometimes some videos don't click on them. It's clickbait. Yeah. They'll put some shit up and you be waiting. It ain't got nothing to do with what they say. Ice Cube destroys Dr. Dre. And you be like, what? You done this Dre? You click on that shit, it ain't got nothing to do with that. So be aware of clickbait. But I'm saying these tapes, the alleged existence of all this digital footage. We keep saying tapes. Ain't been a VCR since goddamn 89. This is digital material to the point where if it's on a computer and you thought you erased it, the feds can come and get that tower, take the hard drive off and still find the shit, right? The average person don't really even know how to wipe a drive. They don't know how to do that. I deleted that shit. How did I get caught? The feds know. They have unlimited resources. So there are a lot of people. We just don't know who. We keep seeing these guest lists. First of all, just because you was at the party don't mean
that don't mean shit.
Right.
That don't mean shit because you was at the party.
Don't mean shit. That video.
Now, if you on that, if you on one of them freak off parties videos, you know what I'm saying? You got something to worry about.
Oh yeah. You better call your lawyer.
If you don't participated in any of them freak offs, you got something to worry about.
And like I said, some of it might not necessarily be legal because I'm gonna tell y'all like this: being a hoe or a slut, well, being a hoe is illegal, but being a slut is not. There's no law that say you going to jail because you're a freak unless you do
Right.
something to
Now,
somebody.
they got allegations of them saying it, well, I mean, they be talking about how he had kids around there, like little boys, like Justin Bieber, Usher, when they was kids, talking about how they would do them at the party, like passing them around and shit. So, like now, if something like that is on the video I'm talking about,
That's damning. That's
now
legal.
it's like, okay, there's a kid right here
All right.
in this room.
No more
All
sitcoms
you
for you.
motherfuckers is done.
Hollywood is sweating.
I can't wait to see how this shit play out, man. I'm actually kind of excited, right? Because, like, for one, I'm excited
That's kind of
because
weird.
I mean, there's some bullshit that's getting exposed that
I know.
shouldn't
I'm
be
fucking,
happening.
I'm fucking with you.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm having a ball watching this shit, man.
Just because I guess the only thing for me, and I'm an admitted cheerleader for foolishness. I like a little ratchet shit sometimes. That's why I be telling y'all go easy on Sexy Red. Like go easy on some of these whole house rappers, man. I like a little ratchet shit sometimes. It does get out of control. You got Sukiyama rolling around on the ground, and in England, like I can't get my booty ate. Like yeah, okay, Suki, calm down. But I'm saying I like a little ratchetness, right? So don't when the part that's gonna come is there's no law against that, but image wise, you're done. So it could be a consensual gangbang between Oprah and this is
That's
all
cool.
this is all me just making this up. Say it's Stevie Wonder, Eddie Murphy, and Rick Ross gangbanging Oprah. Nobody's
That's cool.
underage. Nobody
Right.
was raped. There's no jail sentence for that, but you're gonna look at Oprah a little bit different. Like Oprah, I didn't know you was down with that shit. And then you're gonna look at them niggas like y'all just nasty. It's morally that's bad, but it's not illegal.
Hey, but you know what, man? I really feel like it really could be something bigger than Puffy, right? Because Homeland Security raided his house, not the FBI. Not, you know what I mean?
Not
It's
just
Homeland
the FBI.
Security.
Yeah.
Homeland Security watching out for terrorists and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I really wonder I can't wait to see it play out.
So what y'all think about the mayor of New York?
I feel like
and
there's
all
a
that?
lot of layers to this shit.
With the mayor of New York City indicted on 5 felony charges, from corruption to y'all top lace me up. I know he got more charges. I know a lot of the allegations are around his staff in particular. And they're saying that he had this staff that was corrupt and they were doing all these things and he refused to fire them. It's once again one of those things where I say, let's see it play out. Let's watch it play out. Because the first thing we got to ask ourselves anytime any black man is indicted or accused of any crime is this some bullshit? You have to. If you look at the history of America and how we've been treated in this country, specifically by the justice system, your first inclination has to be, well, hold on, let's see. Now, I'm all for the guilty getting punished. We say on Outlaw Radio, lock their ass up. If you're guilty, go ahead, do your time. But there is trumped up charges in kangaroo courts that are applicable to black men who are in particular positions in which they refuse to operate with the status quo, or if they stand up against the wrong individual and they decide this is no longer one of our likable Negroes. He's not affable. We don't like him. He's not one of the good ones anymore. This is what it comes down to. And like I said, if you're guilty, go to jail. And what they say in Monopoly, go, don't pass, go to jail. What did they used to say? I can't remember. But yeah, the mayor of New York, hey man, listen. It's like so years ago when Kwame Kilpatrick, who was the mayor of Detroit, if you know politics and you know black leaders, when I was growing up, there was a brother named Coleman Young who was the mayor of Detroit. Very outspoken, aggressive brother who really had to fight a million battles. And we know under his watch, Detroit went to hell in a handbasket. It's not just because of him. The crack epidemic has a whole lot to do with it. But you're talking about a time in which at one point Detroit had 1 million people. And the people in Detroit, white flight, they hit it. And there was riots and all this kind of stuff. There's been movies made about it. Coleman Young took over in the turbulent late 60s, I believe, and he stayed up until I think the early 90s or late 80s. He was a black man. He represented himself very, very well. But then Kwame Kilpatrick came, and we thought, okay, here's the start of a new day with a brother who's brilliant, a young lawyer, I believe, had done a lot of great things. It started from the time he was inaugurated. Stripper party at his house. Stripper got violated and ended up dead. Kwame just went crazy. And talking to my cousin from Detroit, I said, man, what's going on with Kwame? He said, man, he didn't do nothing different than any other mayor who's ever in Detroit did. I said, except for get caught, maybe? He's like, yeah, cuz My point is, when I first heard it, I said, he's trying to come at Kwame because he's trying to straight right the shit. Say that again.
Is that who was on crack? They had on camera.
No, that's Marion Barry from DC in the 80s. That's the bitch set me up. That's what Marion Barry told the feds when he said, this bitch done set me up.
That's how it be, man. It be a setup, Kev. You said it. That's what it be.
Marion, you weren't supposed to be smoking crack though, but you in a hotel room with a hooker, like, yeah. And he was able to recover from it. He actually was reelected as the mayor. He did some time. He was actually reelected as the mayor of DC. You know what I'm saying? So, but just a little crack, like you said. Just a little, hey man, what? Ain't no law. Is it a law against me being a dope fiend if I already smoked it? It ain't possession no more. I'm just high and I ain't driving. So what high while walking? I don't know.
No,
Dion, you in the chat room. You're actually on the line first as usual. Dion is usually first in the chat room and first on the line. What's on your mind tonight, Dion?
Hey, I'm a staple of this motherfucking show. No, what's happening, man? How you doing today?
I was doing all right till you said that shit.
Right.
Man, I heard something about that Puffy. I don't even think I'm gonna probably listen to it because I don't know. I don't know how. Like, I'm not a Puffy fan.
Okay.
I like R. Kelly. I like him.
Because that's better. Okay.
But I don't want to be part of the crowd that be tearing a black man down all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Byron Donalds and the Tim Scott and whatever that motherfucker name that said he liked to watch trans porn, them the ones that need to be tore down. I look at Sean Puffy Combs in a way as, being sick. And I don't feel sorry for him, but I'm not gonna tear him down. The reason I don't feel sorry for him or no one else for this situation, because they seen what they did to R. Kelly. Once you seen Kells go down, anything that you were partaking, go ahead.
Please do not use R. Kelly as the measuring stick for injustice.
No. Well, I'm not.
Hold on. There's solid proof.
Okay, go ahead.
There's solid proof that he was a pedophile. Like he admittedly loved to hang out at a McDonald's in Chicago that was populated by teenagers, and he hung out there during the time that they were there. He did marry Aaliyah when she was 14 years old. That's a
15,
fact.
But okay.
15. Okay. So he's an established pedophile. So please don't say
he minimized the shit
go down. There's video of R. Kelly. There's video of R. Kelly urinating in a teenager's face. Please don't put him up there like that.
All right, listen. But you have to give me a chance to make a point here before you interrupt me on what I was saying.
This is true.
It's not about us using R. Kelly as a staple of all things like that. But we can learn something from anybody. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. And once they seen what was going on with R. Kelly years back, any type of mischievous behavior that they were indulging in, they should have ceased it, because it was what's done in the dark will come to the light. This man, and I feel sorry for him. I do. I really do. I was talking about that to my girl earlier.
You feel Puffy?
Yeah, I feel sorry for Puffy.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Because the reason I feel sorry for him, I'm going to tell you why.
I thought you just said you didn't feel sorry for him. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Let me tell you why. I couldn't go from being a fucking billionaire, having private.
He did say that.
I couldn't go from being. Yeah. Okay, listen.
Go ahead, Dion. Go ahead.
Sorry. I couldn't go from being a billionaire. Hold on. Y'all gonna get me fucked up by the police. I couldn't go from being a billionaire.
We ain't gonna do that.
riding on private planes because I was speeding in the truck. I was going 75. I couldn't be a billionaire riding in private planes, got a personal yacht, living the best life, to shitting on the toilet in a room with somebody else. I just couldn't. It was hard for me to adapt being a po nigga. So could you imagine you had the best of everything in your life damn near for a long time.
Damn near 40
and now
years.
Now you in a funky ass jail cell, shitting on the toilet with somebody there, and you got to put up a privacy curtain. You got to put up a privacy curtain. You know, you got access to all type of money, but you can't use it in there. You can have a fat ass canteen. You probably now see he got to know how to jail. Somebody need to teach him how to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because he have a fat ass canteen.
Hey, motherfucker say he in there starving. He ain't eating or none of that shit.
Yeah, I heard. That's what I'm saying.
He worried about getting. They say he worried about getting poisoned or something.
Yeah, I can feel that. Next thing you know, Sean Holmes dead.
I don't know about that, but it's just. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just imagine that.
What they say.
I don't feel sorry for him in that regard. I think that what we always talk about, making decisions, and decisions have repercussions. And so for the days that he's in there and he wants to get down and say, man, how did this happen to me? You got to say, you got out of control. You lost control of yourself. Your mind.
I agree.
You lost your mind, bruh. You for the last, and I ain't even go back to the 90s. Let's just talk about from 2001 to right now. That's 24 years. You've been living this lifestyle in which you made your mind up that because I have money, I can pretty much do anything I want to anybody. And the minute you start thinking like that, you need to be removed from society. But I can't tell you this. He will learn how to jail. He's going to learn how to jail.
He was a Jeffrey Dahmer type of. He was a Jeffrey Dahmer type of motherfucker stuff.
Man, they got that nigga on suicide watch and everything.
He'll be in PC though. He's going to the.
He's on suicide watch.
Is this a Fed case? And wouldn't he be going to Ked?
Yeah, he in a federal joint.
Okay, so
but he's not gonna see the Fed joint is different levels. Like minimum, like prisons here is different levels. They got maximum security Fed levels. It ain't no joke.
Right.
And then they got minimum security. Yeah, then they got minimum security just like Camp Fed, but. Yeah, they say he ripped the girl asshole open. She woke up, her booty was ripped. I said, ooh.
And you feel sorry for him? And you feel sorry for him?
He sodomized that girl. That's illegal. You know, that's on the book.
Right. Well, actually,
you said you don't feel bad for him. Or you feel sorry for him.
Right. If you know that there's, but let me tell y'all something about sodomy. A lot of people are under the misconception that sodomy just involves anal penetration. In actuality, oral sex of any kind is sodomy.
Ooh, the throat goat.
Right. So if you look it up, Courtney already, I see your fingers, Courtney. She like, I gotta figure this shit out. I forgot you be on here. She eating dinner. She ain't on no computer. Y'all look up sodomy. It ain't just anal.
Sodomy was just.
No.
I thought it was just taking it in the ass.
No.
Yeah, I know it's a Wisconsin state statute because when you in a joint. You just be looking up all type of crazy shit. And if a woman wants to press charges on you for taking that booty hole, your ass is like statue.
Here's the definition. Here's the definition. Sodomy is a legal term that refers to oral or anal sexual contact between people or sexual contact between a person and an animal. It can refer to the act of forcing someone to engage in oral or anal sex. Sodomy laws have historically been used to discriminate against homosexual individuals and deny them rights. In the United States, sodomy was illegal for everyone until the 1960s and 70s when many states decriminalized consensual sodomy. Okay? So
I can't see you sodomizing nobody's mouth because they'll bite the shit out you though.
Well, no, once again, if you're scared, if you fear for your life, and somebody got a gun on you, or they have a weapon, or like fear is a motherfucker, man. Yeah. People do stuff when they scared, and you think, oh, I'm gonna bite this shit off. How you gonna get out of there? You ain't getting to the car. But I'm saying
I don't even want to think about that, kid.
So hold on.
What you would do?
Hold on. Let me even lay this out in deeper. Tupac. People always say Tupac was convicted of rape. He actually was not convicted of rape. He was convicted of sexual harassment and sodomy. Because allegedly he got oral sex from the girl on the dance floor. Right? So that's what he was actually, that's in his joint. Like it's in his folder. So if you got a woman and you've done, say you just had oral with her and she gets pissed off at you, she can say he made me do it, and they can charge you with sodomy. And you be like, what you talking about sodomy? I ain't do that. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Throat goat in me.
What? Right. Well,
you want some of that throat goat.
That's what I'm saying. Now,
Kev, you would die. Kev, you would die though. You would die because there's sick people out here. Remember back in the days? I don't know if you ever read a Dolo book. I forgot the name of it with the Ghetto Boys, but they had robbed some niggas to try to make them suck each other's dick.
Who was this?
Yeah, I read it.
Who was this?
With the Ghetto Boys, with Dolo now. I can't think. You don't know the name of his book? Come on.
No, there's no ghetto boy named Dolo though.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah,
You talking about from the first? So you talking about from the first iteration of the Ghetto Boys?
No. It was a street organization in Milwaukee called Ghetto Boys.
Oh yeah,
you remember the Ghetto Boys?
Well, no, they weren't.
Yeah. Dolo wrote a book, and some of his niggas that robbed some motherfuckers. I can't think of the name of that book to save my life. Was it A Victim of the Ghetto? It was some shit like that. But in the book, he was talking about, you know what I'm saying? I guess his niggas that went to hit a lick, he wasn't there, but he was just telling secondhand stories of what his guys had told him. And they went to go rob some niggas and try to make them perform oral on each other up in there at gunpoint. Okay. I said, wow.
Well, I can tell you this. If I'm ever in a situation where that's my option, it's really gonna be a time to make a real life decision. And I don't feel like I'm gonna let somebody do that to me. I'm gonna say I don't feel like I would, because I've never been that scared. Nobody has ever scared me that much to the point where I say, because I feel like this. If that's what you want, you're gonna kill me anyways. Because how the fuck am I gonna live with myself for the rest of my life? So I might as well say, nah, bruh. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
Right there.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, because you know they're gonna kill you anyway, yo.
Right. I'm a zombie after that. Like after that, and by the fact that I let somebody do it, because it was like, well, you were scared. You know, I think my strategy has always been to kind of play into it and be like, well, you ain't gotta take it. Let me help you, and then get him vulnerable, and then snatch something loose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you get close to him, Ken, you a big old nigga.
Well, I'm just saying, I say, well, no, let me, you know, I'm like, no, let me grab it. And he, oh, you want to grab? Say, yeah, I like that. And he be like, oh, I got me a live one. Boy, I'm getting that motherfucker. I'm heading towards Racine with it. You gonna have to shoot me. I'm gonna try to take that motherfucker off your body. Now, if you shoot me, then I'm dead, right? And if you survive it and you say, yeah, that, you know, it's just not for me. That's not an easy win. That's not something. And I try to keep myself out of situations where that could possibly happen.
Oh my mama! You know? Oh my mama! You dude,
look,
that was the most intelligent.
I just talked about back in the days. If you were like on the streets, if you were involved in the streets, if you was in what we call a life, and you knew some ballers, right, or you knew some cats who had bread. You've been to some of those baller parties, and it's going and it's going and it's going. At a certain moment, you got to say, this shit's out of control. I got to get the fuck up out of here. Because if you stay, you're liking to be mentioned. So if one girl who you had nothing to do with got raped, but she knew your name, then that's who she's gonna say at the police. Say, and Kevin was there, even though Kevin didn't do nothing. Yeah. So you got to be.
Well, I ain't gonna lie though. We used to run. Man, motherfuckers used to do that shit. I know my guy. He used to throw mad sex parties, and I don't give a fuck when nobody say. I ain't got no truth of it, but I know he'll let one of them boys that look like a girl top them off.
Oh,
because
no.
when you have cocaine, ecstasy, weed, and alcohol, and all it takes is you get 3 women, 2 real, 1 that boy girl. And they probably think that shit funny and got him in that room. He probably hit one and then why the other one topped him off, and that was that boy girl.
You know what? I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray for your guy. I'm gonna pray for your guy. I don't want to continue on that. That's not where we're going with Outlaw Radio on you getting boy girl action. I don't want because once again, if it was consensual and that's what he likes, unless the individual was underage or he forced him, it's legal.
He didn't know though. He didn't know though, bro.
Well, but it was consensual. Yeah, you thought you know. My mama say you thought you farted, but you shit it. So you gotta go change your drawers. You know what I'm saying? So on the real, I get what you're saying. And we've talked about the fact that the definition of sexual assault and sexual harassment has evolved over the years, in which a lot of us engaged in behaviors a long time ago that it just wasn't as much stigma on it is as it is now. Because I mean, growing up as little kids, you play hide and go get it and shit. And you boys chase the girl. I don't know if y'all played it. I lived in a neighborhood where, how you play hide. Y'all want to play hide and go get it? Yeah. You know what that means.
I know I would have had a 100-year sentence.
Well, I wouldn't even be part of Courtney, you might not be old enough. Hide and go get it was where we was little kids. If we had 5 other girls in the neighborhood, 5 of us, it's basically like tag. It said, when I catch you and you're a girl, I get to hump on you. And so that's all it really was. It wasn't no real intercourse. I caught you. She'd be like, hurry up. And you'd be like,
my era, I don't know. I'm sure some people play hide and go get it, but a lot of us play house. Niggas always want to be the parent. I'm the mama. I'm the mama.
Courtney is that. I don't know why she lied.
Well, everybody you don't understand those lines and those parameters when you growing up. So you get older and be like, damn, I could have went to jail for that shit. That's why you got to break out of them habits. And you have to, especially as a man, you really ultimately have to learn how to respect and how to treat women and how you should behave yourself and how you should act. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself caught in a cross. And nowadays it can be weaponized to where 7 years ago, at the time he had a business and he offered me a job, and it's like, oh shit. And we was on a business trip in Illinois. That's trafficking. Sodomy is illegal. And it becomes federal all of a sudden. Like, all I did was get some head. And so you'll get in trouble, man. You got to be really careful, man. They say you got to be prayed up nowadays. Before you go anywhere, you got to be like, Lord, please bless me before I go. Like, you got to say a prayer before you go out the house.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied, though, kids. You know what I'm saying? I have to be mindful of myself sometimes, because I'm a monster. I ain't only lie to you. But I can't be like that all the time, because some people don't take that flattery. I'm working MCS, and it's a couple women up in there. I'll be but I be having to take it mine. Like, that girl, she might come in there one of them days and she laughing in it now, but it might not be that day. If she gonna report me, now they got the old food service worker burnt up because I said her ass make thunder and lightning sounds to them motherfuckers. Yeah.
Well, understand this too. Sometimes people laugh when they're uncomfortable. And so my rule of thumb to any man is, when you're talking to a woman, if she feels uncomfortable, you can tell if she's uncomfortable. If you're making her feel uncomfortable, you need to hit eject right away. Right. So a lot of dudes, they talk slick to women. Like, they'll say, damn, girl, you got ass and shit. Or, ooh, look at that big motherfucker. And she might laugh nervously because there's 4 of us and she by herself. She might be like, okay. She feels uncomfortable and you're out of order for making her feel that way. That's why I say knowing how to treat women. Part of the maturation process is knowing that would be inappropriate for me, especially if you don't know her. Now, if you got to understand it with her and y'all cool and she be like, nah, it's all good, but you just met her. This is her first day on the job. Here you go talking about, your ass cheek clapping. You the type of dude at the job I'm going to get away from. Don't even sit at the table with me when we go eat. I'd be like, bro, you be on some bullshit. You can get us all arrested. Move around, man. And women will confide in other male workers sometimes and say, hey, what's up with him? I don't even like being around him sometimes because he do the most. Watch that brother. And sometimes I done had to step to brothers and say, hey man, chill out, dog. You need to stop pressing up on her like that, man. You scaring the shit out of her. What you talking about, dog? I just be playing with her. You playing, but you serious. Stop playing, man. Don't, because if she happen to respond like, well, bend me over then, you be all in. So but it goes both ways too, because I'm gonna tell you some of the most inappropriate things that was ever said to me was said by a woman on the job. Because women and most dudes ain't gonna trip. If women ain't gonna, I'm going to HR on you. You know what I'm saying? Like brothers be like, man, you know what she said to me, cuz? For us, it'd be different. So, but women can be inappropriate too. I just don't think the occurrence of men reporting women is as high. And I don't feel like men weaponize it in a way that some women do and saying, man, I once had a supervisor who whoopty woo woo woo. I don't think we necessarily, man, that was 8 years ago. I don't know no brothers who said, man, I went back and pressed sexual harassment charges against my old job because I was, messing with my boss. And you usually don't hear men doing that, and some do, right? Some do, but I don't. Because let's be honest, if one of my homeboys came to us and said that, we'd be like, dog, what's up with you?
The nigga I was sponsored, nigga.
I mean, do you need some money or something? Like what? Who does that? Like
the responsible man, Kevin. That's what that's how he gonna respond to you.
Well, okay.
Oh, okay. You would.
But what I really look at you at that point is a snitch. Because I started thinking about what if I done never done any, not no sexual shit, because I ain't no diddler on me, but maybe we done, hit a lick on some type of money move or something. This motherfucker might tell on me too. Now I'm watching his ass. Because he might try to extort you. You know me and you went and got that bag that time. Like, damn. Remember we rolled over to Chicago, nigga? That was trafficking. I'll go tell. You be like, ain't just a bitch? Like Mayor Johnson, you bullshit. Look, shout out to DC Crowley. I want to talk about DC Crowley right now. Our county executive, first Black county executive, has done a lot of things since he's been elected, and he was voted elected official of the year, I believe. Yeah. Shout out to him.
My dog.
But the 2025 Milwaukee County budget has come out.
You definitely emailed me that. Yeah.
I am privy enough to have intercepted the news months ago that there was a $19 million budget deficit in terms of the county. I want to draw a parallel here. The elected officials, the mayor and the county executive, and if you know more than this, once again, this goes without saying, please call me, enlighten me. I don't know everything, but if you can give me particulars, I welcome that. They basically both said this tax increase, this controversial tax increase Act 12, would save us from a fiscal cliff, because we were looking at a situation where public services that we take for granted would be cut if we didn't make some adjustments. Of course, we know the county has an issue with the pension payouts from years ago, and the city is just broke because they don't bring viable jobs and the people don't generate the tax money, the tax revenue that they should. However, we do have a thing called a property tax levy. Now, keep in mind, the county is bigger than just the city of Milwaukee. It's our surrounding suburbs as well. So he came out today and people were saying, he presented his budget or what he wants to propose, and there were some cuts being made, but they talked about the adjusted cost of things going up, getting more expensive, to which I said, first of all, no shit, Sherlock. But then the idea to fix this, well, first of all, let's go to the revelation that they knew that the tax increase would not cover all of the expenses that they needed it to. This sounds familiar to me because MPS told us, give us a $252 million referendum and we won't have to cut people. And then they said, let's cut people once we passed it. And we said, why? And they said, because this ain't enough anyways. You're going to have to cut. We don't need more. And at that point, we said, hold the fuck on. Wait a minute. So you lied to us and told us the $252 million would help you, but in reality, it doesn't. Now you're saying you're probably going to need about $300 million next time. I look at this the same way, because the county budget, if there's a $19 million budget deficit, and you say before this news was disclosed, hey, what we did saved the city, we turned the corner, our fiscal outlook is much better coming up in the future. But what you didn't say is that you already knew that it wouldn't cover everything you needed it to cover. So the new proposal is another tax increase on the property tax levy, 2%, which is possible, which what they say will possibly generate $8 million. I go back to, I feel like I've been lied to. I go back to the fact that, and the city was what, 0.5%, and I think In the county, it was 0.2% was the increase. But once again, you told the people that, okay, this is kind of drastic because like Kamar and myself said, all it really did was make shit that used to be $1 cost $2 now, on top of the national inflation that we are experiencing in this country. So once again, you go back to the people and say, we gonna need to raise the property tax levy a little bit more and increase your property taxes when we know, I don't know about countywide, but we know the city overinflates property values to justify playing games with your property tax. I guess my thing is stop lying. Tell the people the truth off top. Now, once again, I had a conversation with my brother a couple months ago because he was a little upset with how we spoke on him and not giving Michael S. Harper his endorsement for county comptroller. And I think this is the same situation. Brother, explain it to me. Did it help or didn't it? Well, it helped a little bit, but that's not what you said. That's not what y'all sold this on. You said we have to do this because this is what's gonna save us. As a matter of fact, there was a celebration months prior in which you said, look, we've reaped all this money so far from this tax increase. Well, now we find out that it didn't earn what it was supposed to earn, and you knew it wasn't going to earn what it was supposed to earn. So your newest solution is, hey, well, let's just keep on taxing the people. But at the same time, with all the things both of you have done, I don't hear an economic development plan. Where the fuck are the jobs? You're going to keep taxing us. Where the fuck are the jobs? Where's the plan? When I see Amazon and all these other companies coming around here building in the fucking wild counties in the suburbs where they already have their median income is double ours anyways, I don't hear y'all saying shit. How much vacant industrial property do we have? A fucking train. We have a corridor, an industrial corridor that runs through our city and which is littered with closed manufacturing properties. Where they used to be manufacturing properties. Let's make it into a trail that people could walk on. Then you build a train downtown. This ain't necessarily on DC, but I'm just talking about the big picture. There's a train downtown that goes in a circle.
It goes nowhere.
Right. But people who got jobs can't catch. People who want to work in these wild counties where you're building these companies, they can't get there on the bus. And you know, if you black and you buy a car, you're getting chirped every time you pull off the rear. Where you going? I work right over here. Oh, you ain't got your seatbelt on. You know your place expired. Motherfucker, I just got the job. So what we do, man, I'm not fucking with them out there. I ain't driving no goddamn economy walk. That's where they're putting the jobs. I want to hear you talk about what you're going to do so that revenue in this city tax revenue is increased. You know how it gets increased? By people having money. Is what I'm telling you.
That's true.
So instead of us consistently taxing the poor, you can't get blood out of a turnip. But I don't hear you saying, hey, Amazon, we'll give you a tax break. We'll help you develop the property. Hey, whatever for to do 3M, whoever. Hey, man, we got a nice little factory sitting right on the industrial corridor. You can see the lakefront from that shit. Been vacant for 40 years. Let's make a deal. Stop walking around giving speeches, feel-good speeches. Get your ass on a plane and go bring some money home. Is what I'm saying. Now, maybe he can explain this economically. I'm sure he could. But most of us who are seeing this are saying, hey, man, what the fuck, another increase? In particular, if you're a homeowner, another increase? The entire tax rate. I'm gonna give you a readout on this. Let me see. So here we go. Beginning January 1st, 2024, new city Milwaukee sales and use tax 2% was added, and an increase in the sales and tax use for Milwaukee County from 0.5% to 0.9% went into effect. The combined state and city sales and use tax rate in the city of Milwaukee is now 7.9%. Okay. And the rest of Milwaukee County is 5.9%. You think it's small little amounts. But when you multiply that times 300, 400, 500,000 people, that is a whole lot of money. Now, I heard that, and I noticed that in the article today, because I compared different articles. Y'all got to understand, I got that kind of time on my hands, right? So I got different articles to compare the information. None of them even mentioned the deficit. All they kept saying was, well, we didn't get the money we thought we was going to get from, and this is all balanced out with the American Recovery Act or whatever. They got millions of dollars from that. There's COVID funding in there, but that's not long-term. You can't plan on that, count on that long-term. So all I'm saying is, if you knew the shit wasn't going to work, why did you sell it so hard on that it would work? Now, like I said, I feel like you lied to me. It's like somebody asked you to take them somewhere, and when you get there, they say, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I need to go such and such and such. Why you lie? Man, I didn't want to tell you. Fuck you, man, you didn't want to tell me. So, I don't know, brother. You explain it to me. I didn't hear anything about this $19 million deficit in any of these articles that were put out. All you kept saying is, well, it don't actually cover all the costs. And they said, well, you know, with this plan, we're able to continue public services without it being cuts that you can actually see. Meaning you will still get your garbage picked up. You'll still get the streets plowed and things of that nature. And I love how he also stated that a state law requires the county to pay for that. Like, you have to put a spot. It has to be an allocated item, which we understand. But initially what you said was it was the overtime in the sheriff's department because they don't have enough sheriffs to cover the house of correction or whatever, the county jail. And you said consumer spending was down. So the citizens didn't really spend money like they should have. They didn't spend it because they don't fucking have it. That in itself should tell you we need to be able to help these people make more money. We live in a city that's income deprived, which means the majority of your income goes to just your rent and where you stay at. And most of the time in our community, you don't even own that shit. You're renting it. And if you do own it, they're kicking your ass with property taxes. So the main thing, and you tax us to park on the streets. How many bullshit ass fines do we get in? If you're a taxpayer, you actually pay for the construction done on your sidewalk in front of your home. You pay for this shit. We pay a sewage tax. You want to drive a car, you got a wheel tax. You got to pay for your license plates. You are squeezing the people until they're dry instead of saying, when was this city at its most profitable, its most progressive, its most prosperous? It was during the times when there was money, when there was jobs. We go back to the black community in the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s. Black people had the highest standard of living in this country. You know why? Because it was jobs. It was jobs. You could go. I don't got to drive the goddamn Waukesha just to get a sustainable wage. All this shit collapsed. Things happen. Business change. Everything changes. But as a leader, your responsibility is to be forward-thinking enough to come up with solutions when the people are in crisis. And I'm not seeing that from you. Neither one of you. It's not personal. It's business.
I think it'd help a lot if they just legalize weed and start getting money off of those taxes. That'll help a lot.
Come on, that's too much like thinking outside the box.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're gonna do it, but I'm like, the fuck taking so long?
Well, we so far away from that in this state because once again, this state is 86% white. We got to think about who controls our legislature, and who our Supreme Court justices are. They so conservative, they're not going to approve this. They're because in their minds, they're still under the Harry J. Anslinger method of thinking, the war on drugs. These are the same white people who say, I know drugs are, and they're also the same people who get caught up, or their son or daughter gets caught up with some.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they look at it, and you're stupid if you think the decriminalization of marijuana only represents people who want to get high. Hemp is proven to be a very valuable manufacturing material. You can make everything from clothes to carpet with it.
Right.
So I don't mean to rain on the brother's parade. I think he's done a lot of nice things. I think he has made some progress. But I'm with this budgeting and with this money, I'm looking at him like, bruh, why you lie though? Why have you been breaking your arm, patting yourself on the back, saying, look what I did. I changed this. I did this. I did this. And then you come back and say, oh yeah, y'all, we're gonna need $8 million more. Come on, man. Ewok, you on the line? What's popping, man? I'm ranting. What's going on?
Hey, fellas, what's going on? What's going on, Dion? What's going on, K Bull? Courtney, I will acknowledge you. I ain't even that way. What's happening?
That was dry.
I'm
What's
on.
happening?
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I'm gonna double back on this Diddy shit, man. A lot of people ain't looking at it the right way. People thinking that he finna snitch and all of this and shit. Snitching ain't finna get him shit. You know what I'm saying? Diddy done fucked around with the motherfucking the Masons and the Shriners and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So all of this shit that they taught you in school about going to court and the judicial system and shit, that don't mean shit. Because guess what? Harvey Weinstein, goddamn, he didn't have nobody to snitch on. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that was a little bit or the round table that he was at, he pissed somebody off. They had a group vote. They threw some more charges at Harvey Weinstein. He just when they get like that, that's it. Ain't no Diddy can snitch on Santa Claus. It don't matter. He fucked. That's it. His job was to be the party dude and shit. And he signed up for that shit. Believe me, that shit was orchestrated. Diddy was put in position. He ain't no self-made billionaire. They put him where they wanted him to be at. They he signed up for it. Hey, I'm the party guy. Everybody come to my crib and shit for the freak offs and shit.
I'm the party guy.
Yeah, I'm the party guy. Everybody in Hollywood,
but
Leonardo DiCaprio, all of them motherfuckers.
Ernest, let me say this though. He wasn't just a party guy because he made a lot of people a lot of money. Think of those investors. Think about those major media corporations and conglomerates that Diddy made big money for. Those liquor distributors that he sold millions and millions and billions of dollars worth of liquor for. He wasn't just a party guy. He was actually a money maker.
Of course he made money. Yeah, I said he wasn't a self-made billionaire. They used him. They put him into the position through the motherfucking rap game and all of that shit. They put him into the position to allow him to be able to do these things. He was placed there. He was placed there. It wasn't because he was smart. It wasn't because, Clive Davis and shit, I bet you they don't fuck with him.
Clive Davis said he said at this point he don't even know who Puffy is. He can't even remember who Puffy is.
Exactly. And guess what? They ain't gonna say a fucking thing to him either.
Well, he's old now.
Some things are simpler than you think they are. You know what I'm saying? He was placed there. He was put there in this position for a reason. It was to be used.
John Fletcher, what up? He said, "What up, Outlaw family?"
They allowed him to have some of the money, while they got all of the money, and then he's satisfied by him having these parties and all of this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Clive,
I'm not just saying he wasn't doing. Don't nobody want to have that many parties. He was forced to had those freak offs.
See, I don't think he was forced to do it.
Parties,
I don't think he was forced to do it.
It was satanic rituals and shit going on, man. He was a puppet. That's the point I'm trying to make, man. Why don't you think? How come you can't see that? He was a puppet.
No, I don't agree with you that he was forced to have the parties. I think that this was part of the way he networked and he got in. I think he got in with powerful people because they did come to his parties and they felt safe that they had a haven to go and do whatever freaking they wanted to do. I don't think anybody was making Puffy at the parties.
You think that he came up with this concept all on his own? These fucking sex rituals and this satanic shit. It was more than just freak offs. It was a regular.
I haven't heard anything about satanic rituals.
Yeah,
who
they were doing all kind of shit in there, man.
I'm saying I didn't hear any details of satanic rituals. I haven't heard that. What I've heard is they were freak off parties where drugs were utilized and people were held basically captive. I didn't hear anybody say they made me go through a seance or anything like that. Now, if you heard that, you heard that. I'm not saying you didn't hear it. I'm saying I didn't hear it.
It was.
I don't.
Okay, I hear you.
Puffy. Actually, if you go all the way back, if you go all the way back to Puffy's start in the entertainment business, he was a college student at Howard University. He got on by throwing parties and concerts.
Right.
Nobody was making him do it. That's how he figured. That's how he got his way in the game. That's how he started.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, if you talk about what he did, when he was sued in, was that 1991? I forget the name of the place where he had this party and there was a stampede and the security was foul and the doors, instead of the doors opening going outward, they opened going inward and 7 people died? It was at I think City College in New York. That was a party he was throwing.
A college party and a party where Will Smith, LeBron James, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Ellen DeGeneres, and Regis Philbin come to is way different than the fucking college.
No,
party,
what I'm
bro.
saying is he wasn't made to. Throwing parties is what he's always done. I'm not talking about the magnitude or who the fuck the guest is. I'm saying he's always been a person who that's what he does. He throws events, he throws shows, he throws concerts, he signs artists. He wasn't made to throw the parties.
Who's the perfect person to use for that then?
I don't know who was ever forced to have parties.
For that?
Nah, I don't think.
I'm not saying that he was forced. Okay, I'm saying he was selected to. Let's not say forced. If you key in on the word forced.
You said forced. You said it more than once, though.
Well, okay. I tell you what, he had to keep the party going. This Hollywood thing is a big ass thing, man.
Yeah.
And then they used him to have the satanic rituals and all of that. That freak off shit. That's all. Some of that shit is satanic.
Tell me, give me some details about what was done satanically. What did you hear? Tell me specifically what. Because I want to research it. So what accusation is levied against him that said he made me participate in a satanic ritual?
Type in Diddy Illuminati.
Chanting that. I'm telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there, nigga. You act like I was there.
You brought it up, so I'm asking you. Give me
some
some details on it. You said you know it. How do you know it? Give me the details. I want to know what you know.
Shit. Even let's see. What's that lady name? Should Jaguar Wright talk about it all the time?
Jaguar Wright. Okay. Okay. Jaguar Wright. Okay.
Like I'm saying, like they be in there. They do these 3 days like a moon party. It's like every time it's a full moon, it lasts 3 days, and on the third day, they be doing spiritual fucking and all of that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy.
That came from Jaguar Wright. That's what you, because I'm researching this shit as soon as I get off. These
are different. I'm using her as an example of saying stuff like that, and it's multiple other sources. I don't know these people's names, but you know what I'm saying. This is what motherfuckers is saying.
I would also even argue that argue that Jeffrey Epstein's parties were on. He had an island. His parties were on a different level than Puffy's. He has more. He had more money than Puffy. He's a money man. He has presidents and world leaders, the princes of England, at his parties.
No doubt.
So, but did nobody make him do it? Him and Jillian was planning the whole deal.
Let's stop. Let's get off of the make you do it thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he wasn't placed to do it. He wasn't appointed to do it.
When you sell your soul to the devil, you sold your soul to the fucking devil. So did nobody make you do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, once you sign it, you make the deal with the devil, and should the devil come to collect? You know that, right?
I don't know how much I trust Jaguar Wright though. Jaguar Wright is severely compromised. Like she.
Guess what? Ain't nobody. She said nothing about sued her yet. Jay-Z ain't. She just said some shit today on Piers Morgan. When you get off of here,
she sure did. I seen it. I already seen it. She implicated him. I seen it.
Ain't nobody sued her yet about nothing she said. She ain't got damn defamation lawsuit against her yet from damn body.
Well, it ain't affecting nobody's bottom line.
In the bank, if I got $400 million in the bank, I'm shutting that bitch up. Bitch, shut up lying on me.
Corey Holcomb actually said he was going to sue her. Corey Holcomb said on his show 5150, he said he was going to sue her because she indicated that he liked his tail end played with by his ex-wife. And so Corey said, I'm a sue her. And now listen, you're right. I haven't seen anybody bring anything against her, but she also hasn't affected anybody's bottom line either because nobody believes anything she says. So Jay-Z is not going to lose record sales because of what Jaguar Wright said.
Tasha K didn't affect Cardi B.
It ain't got nothing to do with the bottom line. Bitch, don't be running around. Get a shut the fuck up clause and shit, or what else can you get to make her shut up? Or whatnot.
You can send her a cease and desist.
I want your money, and I want you to shut up too.
She don't got no money. No, Courtney, you just made a good point though about Tasha K. Can you repeat that? Because you just made a great point. Because Tasha K and her are pretty much parallel.
Tasha K, she talked that shit about Cardi B, and Cardi B sued her. And I mean, she didn't mess up Cardi B's bottom line, but Cardi B was like, "Nah, you got me fucked up." Sued her, and I think she still owes millions. She in debt. God damn it. So I mean, they could sue Jaguar Wright.
You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody. get away with talking shit about you and don't say nothing. You just gonna sit there in silence.
I think in Cardi B's case, it was different because she said she had gonorrhea and she like talked about her kids, and that Cardi is just being petty.
She said y'all goddamn killing kids and having sex parties and drinking blood, so y'all not gonna.
I don't know. Once again, I'll have to see. Now, this latest thing with Jay-Z could be her downfall because she fucking with big money now. Now you fucking with NFL money. And so if Jay and Beyonce decide enough of this shit, because listen, Jaguar, right? If you've ever listened to her, she says some of the wildest allegations. I'm talking about from Mary J. Blige to everybody. And I'm not dismissing what she's saying as fake or anything, but I'm saying she said so much. It's like, you know.
I never even listened to her, Jaguar, right? I don't really be feeding off into that gossip when they be talking about them entertainers like that. You know, like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. That just ain't something that I like to listen to.
Somebody got an echo. Somebody giving me an echo. I need for somebody to turn their device down. Hold on, fellas. Somebody got to turn their device down. This echo is killing me. Somebody got to turn their device down. I don't know who watching the Andy Griffith show. It's probably Dion.
I walk past my.
No, I ain't.
We know Dion loved the
Andy. Go get my beer.
He loved the Andy Griffith show, so it might have been.
Hey,
that's defamation.
Go ahead, Dion.
No, I was just fucking with Kev.
But I'm telling you, if somebody's saying some outlandish shit against you, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you got the money to fight back with, like, this, shut up, you lying. You know what I'm saying? Say anything else, I'm suing you. At least you putting it out there like, no, this bitch is lying. Ain't nobody trying to say she lying.
But you know litigation costs time and money. Like, litigation costs time and money. And like I said, if it's not affecting your bottom line,
you ain't got to go to court with them.
You still got to pay them. You're still gonna have to sit down and give a deposition. It's still gonna take time and money. If it's not affecting your bottom line, like I said, people don't give her credit. She's not credible. So, like Dion just said, I don't even listen to her, right? So it's like, why should I even respond?
I don't know who I don't even know who
why wouldn't you want to shut her up, though, Kev? You're not getting what I'm trying to say. Why wouldn't you want to shut her up?
It could be my personal preference. If I got enough money, I could, Dion. Ernest be saying, man, I'm not even worried about her. Don't nobody pay her no attention. Like, I mean, you honestly could.
Somebody listening to her. That's how she make her money.
Wendy Williams said Tupac got raped in jail. He never sued her. And he was alive. He never sued her. He cussed her out, but he never sued her. That's defamation. Because I'm sure if he sat down with her.
That's just an example. I'm talking about out of all of the people that this bitch be out there out and saying shit about, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody tried to tell her bitch shut up.
That don't mean she ain't lying. She ain't got no money, first of all. She was arrested.
It don't mean
she was arrested for beating up her husband while she was drunk in front of her kids like 2-3 months ago. She's OC. She has a reputation for being OC. Ernest, I'm not saying she's a liar.
She's a scarred woman, and
she's
the story
not credible.
She's telling this shit is part of the. She said she was a sex worker and shit and all of that shit, man.
I know she was a singer, and I know she at one point was in the industry. I never heard her say she was a sex worker. I mean, but once again, if you get a different source than I did, please send me the links. That's what Dion always do. That dude stay sending me some shit.
It was on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is a British motherfucker, so that's international. She was.
I know who he is. So she said she was a sex worker on there. Once again, I didn't watch it, so I didn't hear it. I don't know. That's what I'm telling you.
Said she was a sex worker, and she said her first handler was somebody. I forget the name and shit. She said that she's been handled. She was telling the stories about the motherfucking industry and shit. She said that she had to be a sex worker. The industry fucked her all the way up.
That's what
That's
she said.
why she's so upset.
Because she lost her record deal.
Upset and telling on these motherfuckers.
What's the name? What's the other woman name? She has come out now and said that she was exploited and extorted. It's not Jaguar Wright. It's another lady who's shit. Her name was just on the tip of my tongue. It's not Jaguar Wright. It's a Superhead, Corinne Steffens, who's changed her name.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, nobody sued her.
She said she went on her own free will. She said they was doing some freaky shit, and she was a part of it.
She just came and said she was gifted to Puffy.
She said she didn't do nothing that she didn't want to do.
She's not credible.
That's what she said.
Nobody would put her on the stand, just like nobody's gonna put Tasha K or Jaguar Wright on the stand in court.
She never accused nobody of nothing. She never
Jaguar Wright has.
So why wouldn't they listen to Superhead? Superhead ain't never lied. Why? Because she wrote the book telling the truth.
How do you know she's never lied? How do you know she wasn't?
I think that she lied. Nobody came at her about the book when we clearly knew who the motherfuckers was.
A lot of artists denied it. A lot of artists said that's not true. She's lying on me. A lot of artists did. They didn't sue her. We talking about somebody suing. Huh?
That's what I was gonna say. Why they ain't sue her then?
Because people think suing is easy. Like, I love America. America's super sue happy. Like, everybody in America, I sue. Go sit down and talk to a lawyer about suing somebody.
50 Cent always suing niggas.
Yeah, 50 Cent was sued himself and went bankrupt.
Even without suing, you can get a cease and desist.
You can, but it costs money.
It don't cost that much.
It costs money.
I mean, but if we got a whole
motherfucker got $400 million, so
how do you know who got $400 million besides Jay-Z? Who got that? She talking about got $400 million.
That's who she just talked about, and he ain't said.
And that was just today or yesterday. You don't know what the outcome is going to be behind this. She might already have a cease and desist.
She been talking about Puffy as long as Wendy Williams was.
I don't think Puffy gonna sidebar.
What did she say about Jay-Z? You keep on saying she said something about Jay-Z. Enlighten me. I would like to know.
She said
Jay-Z and Beyonce is the devil, and they worse than Puffy. That's what she said today. Well, on the podcast I saw today, or which, like Kev said, she probably made yesterday. She said Jay-Z and Beyonce are bigger devils than Puffy. They are 10 times worse. That's what she said.
But hey, let them. More power to them.
I mean, but a lot of this shit we'll never be in those rooms, so we'll never know. No matter how court case goes, because they might be, but we'll never know. We'll never see the videos. I mean, we'll never know.
But that's my point, Court. You know what I'm saying? If somebody running around saying things like this about you, you got to say something. You got to at least get a cease and desist.
You don't
have
about
to. The money, like you said. If you got money, you got $1 billion and shit. Why the fuck won't you shut the bitch up?
Well, here's the thing.
Your lawyer,
they probably don't care.
You said
they probably don't care if they got $1 billion.
But you said she said they were bigger monsters. I want to know what detail she gave to support that, because that's where the cease and desist and the legal proceedings will come in at. Because she just said that in itself is not slander.
No, she said that she had evidence, and she said something about she had video and everything. She was jackballing like a motherfucker, Kev. I mean, I'm telling you, you got to watch for yourself so you can see. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a computer. I can't sit here and tell you exactly word for word. All I can do is paraphrase what I remember from what I saw.
Once again, if she produced a video, I guarantee she get a cease and desist. I guarantee she gets sued for libel if she has a videotape. And first of all, if she had a videotape, she would have been put that shit out. She ain't, I'm gonna wait till Puffy get indicted. She's not even that smart. She's bipolar.
All I know is shit. We can sit here and have our back and forth all day. All I know is if a motherfucker fuck, this is my point from the beginning to the end still. If a motherfucker out here slandering me and shit, I'm not gonna sit there and be quiet. Bitch, shut up. I'm gonna shut you up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna prove to everybody why I shut you up.
It makes you look more guilty.
I don't give a damn how much money I got. I'm shutting her up.
It's people. Listen,
I'm not turning the other cheek and shit like, I'm bigger than Jaguar Wright, so I ain't gonna respond.
Well, if I got money and she don't. If you got money and she doesn't, now that's once again what I keep hearing you say is I. So that means that's your specific outlook. That's what you would do. That's what you would do.
I agree.
That's what anybody should do.
That's not true. Or somebody would have done it already.
What do you think? Would you make them? Kamar, would you make her?
I feel like it depends what level I'm on, right? Like with Jay-Z, it's kind of different because he corporate as a motherfucker, you know what I mean? The NFL shit. So he really can't get involved in the back and forth. He ain't being charged with the shit as of right now. You know what I mean? He don't know if he even gonna be charged. So like, but then you got smaller level people where she talking about who may be getting their ass ran in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like them people may want to be like, hold on now, stop saying put my name out here on that bullshit like that. You know what I mean? But on J level, I mean, I kind of understand them not clapping back at this point.
So many people say stuff about somebody like him every day. Okay. And once again, shout out to Ewok because I'm not here to dismiss his perspective. And he kept saying it's what he would do. So let's get that out the way. And I think that
It's a valid point because there's a
I
lot
think
of
they
people
got dropped.
who would.
But what I'm saying is, if Jay-Z went after somebody who made a false accusation on him every day, he would have no money and no time. It's literally go on YouTube and put Jay-Z scandal. This dude still talking about they used to sell dope with Jay-Z and he did this, that, and the third. Like I think what, like Kamar said, when you get to a certain level, you ain't really, now if he walk in that NFL board meeting on Monday and they say, Jay, we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk business. Is Jaguar right?
Right.
I guarantee you them lawyers be to see her ass the next day.
Right.
And I bet you after that shit, she won't say nothing else about nobody else.
Because now his bottom line is being affected.
There you go.
Or did she just come up missing or dead or something? You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Jaguar right missing.
Hey. All right. I don't know who gonna come knock on your door in the middle of the night. Hey, Miss Jaguar. What the fuck? It's like Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown comes on and says the wildest shit. Y'all got some moo, and she gave me some ma, some la 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 la. Nobody sued him either. Nobody takes him seriously.
Oh no, niggas be taking him serious. Don't say that.
I feel sorry for you if that's your source of information.
Like, man, because he be saying some shit. Like they be a tad bit crazy, but they be saying some shit. Look, I got a homeboy that got motherfucking Mickey'd, and he be saying some shit. But then sometimes he be saying some shit. You be like, you know what? I think my nigga might be, you know what I'm saying?
So hold on. So you can dismiss it most of the time, but if he say, you know, I know Jay-Z, right? You be like, oh shit, he telling the truth now. Now he's telling the truth. we be looking for some dirt on the motherfucker. So they was doing satanic rituals. I have not heard that. Now it could be true.
I never heard that.
I've never heard that Puffy at any of these freak offs was doing satanic rituals. I have.
Out forever, all that Illuminati shit and
hey, satanic rituals ain't illegal though.
That's true. That's true. But Kamar, I'm saying in regards to the freak offs that he's actually that's going to come up in his trial, I have not heard anything about satanic rituals. Now, if it's out there, I mean,
that part ain't illegal. I think they just worried about who's at those freak offs, like who's getting used in the wrong ways at the freak offs. That's what they want to know. And who has knowledge of the wrongdoing being done.
And if you loaded up a plane with 15 sex workers from New York and flew them to California, that's 15 different trafficking charges.
Right.
So that's the white man's law. That's the Mann Act. That's what the Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion.
They got their case already ironclad.
The first black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson, way back. You know, they hated him forever because he had a mouthful of gold teeth and he was knocking white men out left and right. But they couldn't do nothing. He won the belt. He had money. And people don't even know Jack Johnson invented the monkey wrench. People don't even know that. This dude was so smart. He had the patent on the monkey wrench. But you know how they got him? And Milwaukee is involved because he met a white woman from Milwaukee, put her in his car, and took her on a trip across state lines. That's the Mann Act. It ain't legal for you to transport no white woman across the state lines for intent of having sexual contact with her. Got his ass. That's the white man's law. Now, was he a pimp or a trafficker? He's a man. Come on, baby, get in the car. Let's ride. I didn't know. It's just like sodomy. How many of y'all out there are sodomizers?
Yeah.
You don't know it because you don't know the law till you sit down in that court and you say, Your Honor, I'd like to say I'm innocent of sodomy. Well, according to this, oh shit, I didn't know that was sodomy. It's a case of where you don't know can absolutely hurt you. Y'all know what else I'm tripping off of? Y'all keep hitting the line. Like I said, we go back and forth. I don't want anybody to think you're gonna get dismissed your opinion and your perspective. But when you say certain things, I wanna. He's right. I do focus on them. So when you say somebody was made to do something, or you say something like satanic rituals, I want details on that shit. So I might have to ask you, like, where you get that from?
You just gotta type in Diddy satanic rituals. How about?
But is that applicable to this case?
Maybe. Because
I haven't heard any specific details about these freak offs. Like I've heard plenty stories about celebrities being Illuminati. I get that.
I think the freak off probably happened after the ritual, or is at the same time. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the ritual and then it leads to the freak off. We finna, because you know, the sex has a lot to do with energy. You know what I'm saying?
What that's called, though, Courtney? That's called speculation. You just said you think that's how it happened.
Of course, I don't know, Kev. But
no, I'm saying even in a court of law, when those witnesses say, and he made me praise Satan.
I mean, as we're talking about rituals and shit, not just about freak offs, about rituals. I'm saying they may have had rituals and then did the sex after, because the sex, the energy is what gives life to any fucking ritual. Even with us being just regular spiritual people doing our rituals, a lot of times having sex, the energy of that can manifest some shit. So I'm sure that they look at it the same way we do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm sure sex has something to do with it, because the energy from sex. So if it was some rituals, yes, it was there. It was a part of it.
I'm only laughing because I know a lot of nasty brothers, right? I know a lot of brothers who got like miles on them.
They don't know about it.
Not one of them have ever said, first I made the bitch praise Satan, then I tore her ass up. Like, I'm just saying, like I don't know anybody, and not once again, I don't know anybody who's engaged in satanic behavior that I'm aware of. But when brothers get to talking, sometimes the drink get to flowing or whatever, and we sitting around and you might be engaged in locker room talk, of course, especially if you with a tight circle of individuals that you've known for a long time that you can trust. And brothers give up details sometimes, say, man, I so and so and so. And you be like, what? But nobody ever says, man, I burned some wax, poured it all over, put it on a pentagram. Bruh, I'm telling you, after that, it went down. For me, a satanic ritual sucks the moment out of it. Like, I don't even want to do it after that, because I'm going to be tripping. Like, motherfucker, you was over there chanting with shit coming out your mouth. I'm leaving. Like, now we get into what you said, Courtney, where the big motherfucker say, you ain't going nowhere.
No.
I'm like, damn.
You here now.
Well, his big ass going to have to prove his worth, because we going at it, because I'm getting the fuck up out of there. I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm just saying. Different strokes for different folks. Maybe that is what some people.
We drinking the blood. We all put our blood in a cup. We sipping it. Now it's a big orgy. You know what I'm saying?
Who does that shit?
It's movies like this. What is it? Eyes Wide Shut.
I ain't talking about no movie. I'm talking about a real. Do you know anybody who's engaged in this behavior?
Why would I know people that do this? But I bet you they do. That's why they make the movies about the shit. Sitting around with the mask on. They got movies about the shit. Was it Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise?
Okay, there's movies, right? There's movies, but I'm saying
they be doing it, Cam.
I don't know. I don't know anybody.
Yeah, of course you don't know nobody, Cam. We don't know them.
I ain't shit. Like, yeah, you don't know no Satan worshipers. You don't know nobody then. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool. We don't know them. Even if the homie tell me he did that, I'm be like, bruh, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, cuz you on some
power up, nigga. You need to get yours up. That's what he gonna say.
Cool. I'm cool. If I got to do all that, I'll just keep working every day, trying to, I'll just live check to check. I'm good. All money ain't good money. I do want to say rest in peace to the young rapper Rich Homie Quan, who passed last week. And there was an accusation that there was drugs involved, but you always have to wait for the toxicology via autopsy to come back. And they came back today and gave the results, and they said he had basically lean, pills, weed, cocaine, and fentanyl in his system.
Damn, I thought you was gonna say nothing. Thought you was gonna say
no. I wish, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I guess my point was his brother said he had found him on the kitchen floor, passed out with food in his mouth, and so his recourse was to take him and put him on the couch. If I come in the kitchen and my brother's passed out with food in his mouth, I'm gonna try my best to wake his ass up. Dog, get up. I'm gonna call. Hey, we got to put some cold water on this dude. Like, I don't. And then his girl said she had come downstairs and seen him, so she put the cover over him and just went to work, and came home and he was cold and lifeless. And I'm like, even her, if I come to the couch and say, hey, get up, go get in the bed. Now, maybe he was known to have these binges where, I don't know because I don't live with him. It's just very tragic, man. It's very sad that you never know what a person's dealing with. Just like the news that the 90s rapper Chino XL, I don't know if people know who Chino XL was, but Chino XL was probably made more famous by Tupac dissing him because he had said some stuff about Tupac in the rap. He was a real, like, metaphorical East Coast type rapper in the 90s. He was
What
50
song
years old.
What
He
song
was
he did a song with? No, who he did a song with?
He had a lot of songs. His discography is there. He was at one point he had momentum in the game. I was never a fan of him like that. But my point is that he passed last week, and his family came out and said he actually committed suicide. That he hanged himself. He was 50 years old. And they said that he had been dealing with depression for a long time and anxiety. My point in that is, once again, with Rich Homie Quan, you don't ever know what a person's dealing with. You don't know what a person's going through. Like, you might look at that person, they might seem normal. Like, a lot of times what we do is we look at celebrities and assume they all got money because they on TV. Oh man, he must have everything. And sometimes they don't got shit. Sometimes they're bound by a contract in which they basically make less money than you do on your day-to-day plantation gig. So, when we look at people, you have to, even if they're a celebrity, you have to say, ain't no telling what that motherfucker going through, right? And hope that you ain't making it worse by triggering that individual. And speaking of deaths, y'all see John Amos, James from Good Times passed.
Mm-hmm.
What was he, 84?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Did you announce when Famous Amos died?
I did not, because a lot of people don't know who Famous Amos is.
So we're gonna talk about John Amos, but not Famous Amos.
Niggas know who Famous is. Don't he
Well,
make cookies?
If you want to talk about Famous Amos, feel free. I'm not cutting you off. Like, no, Courtney, fuck that. We ain't talking about him. Like,
we need to represent for all of them. When Famous died, we should say something, just like we're talking about John.
Well, we don't. John is a little bit more iconic than Famous Amos.
Famous Amos ain't iconic.
I in my eyes, I think John Amos, who was in Roots and in Good Times, was more iconic because there was two different depictions of us at a time when you didn't see us portrayed. In particular with Roots. Roots is a groundbreaking book. It's a groundbreaking record-setting miniseries during the 70s in which they basically talk about us coming from being brought off the boat to where we are now. That shit is acclaimed all over and Alex Haley, who wrote the book, he blew up weighted off that, and they give him more knowing for more attention for that than writing Malcolm X's autobiography. And then we talk about Good Times. Good Times is an iconic thing in the Black community in which it was on television, it was presented. Black people got a chance to look at themselves in the mirror. And, I'm not a real big Good Times fan because I think it was just a little bit too over dramatic for me, and Michael was a little too zesty. But that's just my opinion. But I know, and if some people might, in terms of entrepreneurs, they might look at Famous Amos, Willie Amos, and say, no, Kev, he was way more of an icon because of the way he started his business. But you also have to look at what he did, what happened to his business.
Hey, when bro, I mean, hey, things happen.
Super sad. Just
it happens.
Super sad.
Best of us.
Yeah, well, and then he admittedly said, I just was not a very good businessman. I was an idea guy. And he screwed himself with and he ended up with, oh my God, it's such a sad story. Well, rest in peace to Famous Amos too, like Courtney said.
Thank you.
Juice Lady wants y'all to give it up for Famous Amos. So
I'll be eating them now. Y'all know about him. He passed away.
Dikembe Mutombo passed away. I don't know if you're a celebrity, man. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, it's just like everybody who we knew as iconic growing up is out of there. I want to ask this question too. It's 9:30. Damn, this shit flies by.
Yeah. Are these people old that were iconic to you growing up? Are they of age to die?
Obvious. Yeah, they was old when I was young. So yeah, like James Earl Jones was a senior citizen when I was born and shit. So we just always knew who he was and shit. He was Darth Vader in Star Wars. Ewok says there was levels to the party. One cat said after 1 o'clock, leave if you ain't into that freak ass voodoo shit.
Hey.
Okay, well, that's a good disclaimer. Hey, if you ain't with the freak shit, and I'd be like, hold on, let me get my keys, because I'm not getting in this. Get my energy up in the satanic ritual so I can get down.
Now, come on.
Yeah, can somebody listen? Y'all know who the Fugees are, right?
Yeah.
Can somebody please let's do a biopic on the Fugees? What is there a curse to the Fugees? First of all, look at Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is a hot mess. Her career, for her trajectory when she first came out, you'd have thought she's finna be the biggest black star we ever had. If you see Lauryn Hill right now, you like, what the fuck does she got on?
Why we can't blame the Marleys for that?
Well, hold on. You can, because she had like 30,000 kids by Rohan Marley. That might have did it. But if you just switch from her and go to Wyclef, who goes and tries to run to be elected in Haiti, gets caught up in a corruption trial. Now Praz, the third member, is facing 25 to life for some political scams and scandals. And now he's suing Lauryn Hill.
Oh.
Because they were supposed to have a reunion tour last year, and Lauren's Lauryn. And so he's suing her. And I'm like, dude, you never thought the Fugees, they wasn't even gangster rappers. Too much, man. 2 federal indictments. You on the prizes on some real like global conviction.
Hey, but they was kind of hood though, man.
Entirely.
You know, they was kind of hood, being from Haiti and shit. Remember he's talking about I'll be gone till November. He's going to sell dope.
And
I thought he
is that what that song was
court. I thought it was about he's going to court.
I need time to go get this money. I'll be back in November.
Oh,
okay. I gotta read them lyrics again. It was such a beautiful song. I was so young. Now I got to go back. Damn.
I never was a Praz. I never liked Praz though. I thought he was garbage.
I don't think
he wasn't a Wyclef fan. I mean, everybody loved Lauryn Hill, but even her debut album, which won all the Grammy Awards and sold all the copies, she lied and said she wrote all the shit. And it's like, no, you didn't write that shit, Lauryn. And so she got sued for years. So I'm just saying, like, man, the 90s didn't age well when it comes to hip hop. Puffy on trial, Tupac dead, Biggie dead. Come on, man. This shit didn't age well, man. Like, hip hop need a restart, man. The forefathers have dropped the ball. They've dropped the ball, man. What else we got before we get out of here? If y'all got something that y'all want to talk about, put it out there. Courtney, like she said, what about Famous Amos? So if you're in the chat room like, Kevin, what about Boogaloo Shrimp or somebody like that?
Yeah, man.
Let's acknowledge they deaf too. Oh, this is the most important one, and I put this at the end of my talking points because I knew we'd be towards the end of the show when I talked about this. Once again, I got to give Outlaw Radio credit. I have to give Kamara and myself credit. I have to give all the individuals that support us credit, because for a very long time, we've been discussing what the solution is to the reckless driving epidemic in Milwaukee.
Cameras.
What can we do? Now, the mayor and our county exec have come up with a plan at, what is it, zero something. And they said it's going to be, we're going to narrow the streets and put more roundabouts and all this. But Evan Goyke, who's the city attorney, is teaming up with some people now saying that they're going to implement, which basically is mandatory minimums. This is in the People's News Network. He's saying, I'm no longer dismissing or amending a reckless driving charge. When you catch that motherfucker now, you're going to pay. And we know for so long, these people who reoffend, they say, well, he was already on probation for doing the shit 2 weeks ago. Mandatory minimums, refusal of parole. No, you ain't getting, ain't no PR bond. Sit your ass down. What's going to be next is this will end up in Madison. So these laws are going to change. It's going to be just like cocaine. I'm trying to tell you, mandatory minimums. Now, is it harsh? Is it rough? Yes, because technically, if you're on the expressway and you doing 75 and the speed limit is 65, I think if it's 15 to 20 over, that's reckless driving. How do I know? Because I got a ticket like that one time. Didn't know I had a reckless driving on my record. That's just a ticket. No, you was doing 85 and a 55. That's reckless driving. This is where it affects the good guys at. This is why y'all need to sit y'all ass down, because when they come in and regulate, it doesn't differentiate between the two. Mm-hmm. And it's all y'all motherfucking fault. Now, they did say that the reckless driving incidents and stolen cars now were down in Milwaukee, finally, because Kia is changing their software, and so they're making it harder to, steal their cars. But mandatory minimums, I think this is necessary. I believe that if we don't do something about it, it won't stop. And I want it to stop. It's to the point now where it's just ridiculous, especially when you got 14, 15-year-olds stealing a car, going on to somebody's neighborhood, and then stealing another one and flying through the city and killing. Babies are dying. Innocent people are getting killed because your fool ass want to steal a car.
Yeah.
So these mandatory minimums, I believe, are necessary. I think sometimes you just got to be tough. And you say, well, these kids come from situations and circumstances where they don't know any better. Well, you're going to learn today.
Don't learn today.
Going to learn today. I know everybody doesn't agree with it, but if you don't come up with a solution, if you don't have one on hand as we speak, then I don't need your opinion either. Because other than that, you just pontificate. You're just running your mouth. Pontificating. Google it. It's a good word. That's a collegiate word.
Out here pontificating. See how we turn down the slang?
Yeah. We probably ain't gonna switch that one.
Like a motherfucker.
Nigga, stop peeing. Hey, look, beautiful weekend coming up. The last of these sunny weekends, I enjoy the fall. Autumn is my favorite season, right? So I got some stuff. Oh my God, too much coming up this weekend. But Kamar, you about to have an eventful weekend. Talk to the people about what you got popping.
Oh yeah, we got Wellness Our Way. Saturday, Sherman Phoenix is starting at 11 o'clock. The doors open at 10, but the event start at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Make sure y'all pull up. Come learn some.
Okay. Sherman Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sherman Phoenix. It's not the first rodeo he's had, so really you should know about the shit by now. But, yeah. You'll see Kamar on Instagram. If you own Instagram on Saturday morning, I'll be looking forward to see what kind of commercial he gonna do. Because when he put the one up with him and Ticey dancing, I was fooled by it. I said, look at Kamar. I didn't know he could dance like that. So I know you're gonna promote the shit out of it. Courtney, what you got coming up this weekend?
I am flying out tomorrow. It's about that time for the senior night game. And, you can't have the kid down there for senior night alone.
Right.
To be there. So, got my little jersey. Hold on, let me get it now.
She got a jersey.
I mean, not the jersey. I got a hoodie. I got me a hat. But it's gonna be 80-something degrees. So am I really gonna have the hoodie on? It's gonna be 80-something degrees. But look, them Gainesville Elephants. You know what I'm saying? Class of 2025. That's what we doing. Woo!
So how's he's balling? How's he doing?
Not as well as he thought he would. He always be thinking like I don't know, man. He's like me sometimes. Sometimes my mind, I just, so he like, I'm gonna go down there and finna be the star quarterback. You just think that you're gonna take people's spot and you didn't. So now you just kind of on the side, and now you just want to play any position so you get some time. When you could have been here, you would have had all the time. But he's still at a better school, so it's that going on.
Yeah, my son got this is their 4th game of the year at the school he goes to in Minnesota. So I'm definitely gonna be glued to the TV. He got his first college catch in their last game, 23 yards, nice catch and run. It was a dope play. It's on my Facebook page. I know people I'm tired of Kev putting that play up. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting that shit up. And he better not catch nothing else because that shit gonna be all over my Facebook feed too. But you know what? When it comes to athletics and it comes to football in particular, like I've always told my son, like, look, I hear what you're saying, but I see what you're doing.
So right?
And I was a coach. So my son is actually a coach's son. So one thing we established early on is if you're a slapper, you're a slapper, which means if you're a scrub, you're a scrub. I never wanted him to go anywhere, and I'm not saying your son is a scrub. Let me clarify that too. But I'm saying I never wanted him to have a false kind of perception of what he was finna do, right? Mm-hmm. And so my son told me when he left for college, he said, Dad, I'm telling you, I'm about to go up here. I'm about to start. I'm about to do. And I said, well, listen, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to expect that. But there's work that has to be done to get there. There's attention to detail. There's discipline. There's accountability. It's a whole other standard that you hold yourself to. I've been through it. I know what it takes. I know the mentality you have to have. And I know the physical and mental strain that it's going to take. Now, are you ready to deal with that? Because if you're not going to play. I thank the Lord above that he was. that when he said, no, Dad, I'm killing. Like, I got to the point where I made him start sending me his practice films. So send me some shit from practice since you killing in practice. And he sends them like, Dad, look, this what oh shit. So he can't give up if this is what he want to do. And if he wants to play ball, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So if he wants to do it, this might be a setback, but it might be a setup for a comeback. So, just tell him to keep his mind in it and keep focused. Going down there, especially anywhere in the South, the football in the South is a whole different animal than it is from being in Milwaukee. It's not even comparable.
Look, child. So, like, there are a bunch of scrubs here compared to, the South now. Hey, I'm like, and then a lot of these boys got dads that are coaches, you just got me. Like, I be trying to, you know what I'm saying? They got people really having them out there, getting to it. Like,
So I would have said, like, my thing was always made sure whatever sport my son was playing, he had a trainer or a coach or somebody who was working with him before the season. Like, we're going to start in spring. You want a ball? Okay, well, you need to go work out here with dude or whoever. So if he was going to make that move, especially going south, he probably should have been with a quarterback coach all summer, like just drilling, just all in the spring. Just like to be successful at football, and I know Kamar can tell you this, football almost is not just a sport, it's a way of life. Because you win games actually in the off season. You don't win the game during the season. You win in the off season because year round you got to be lifting, you got to be doing drills, you got to be good. It's a whole process. Now
you got to be more prepared than your opponent.
Yeah. I mean, physically and mentally, sharper. It's a such thing as playing fast. When you understand the game, it slows down to you. A lot of people don't watch football because they don't know what's going on. It looks like chaos. And when you out there playing, you know your position, it slows down to you. So you say, oh, he did this, he did that. There go the ball. Booyah. But if you out there and it's you're like, oh shit, they're gonna, oh, what happened? You just see the coach saying, hey, come on.
Come on back out.
Sit your ass right there. Sit your ass right there. So it's definitely, a challenge. But I would say keep fighting, man, if that's what you want. Nobody can stop you from doing anything that you want to do. I will say this to y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Man, try to care about something. Try to find something you love. It's hard if you don't have something that you love. Like, you ever seen people who really don't have anything in their life that they love? They're usually aimless. We used to call them aimless and gameless. Like a person who ain't got nothing that they can tie themselves to and say, I got love for this, I got a passion for this. They usually just drifting. They're just drifting. So I always tell people, try to find something you really love, man. Try to find something you care about. Try to find out where your passion is and pursue it. And don't let people tell you that you can't do it. But the most important thing is to do it. We started off the show and I asked Kamar what he means specifically when he opens up and he says, where we talk that talk and we walk that walk. You ain't really seeing nobody on this show that ain't doing what they say they doing when they not on the show. That's kind of like a prerequisite for being on the show. I've never had somebody on here who was a bum who, well, I'm looking at them like, you don't even be doing that shit, right? Because ultimately, if you always talking about something and you ain't doing it, then it puts you in a place and in a position of a person whose criticism of the community outweighs their contribution. And around here, we call you a coon for that. So peace and love, man. Y'all have a safe weekend. Be good to yourself and then be good to others. I'll see y'all Monday, man. Outlaws for life.